This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
I'm Cheney Crab.
Naveen Copperwise coming at you.
Yeah. Today on the podcast, we have Trevor Strnad of the Black Dahlia Murder.
What up?
Yo.
Can you hear that theme song?
Dude, hell yeah.
Are you rocking out?
What?
Makes me want to wrestle.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was kind of the idea behind it, I guess.
Yeah, to wrestle to it. So you said
Push pit kind of a thing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask I know that you just went through a surgery, but what happened?
I had a double hernia surgery. I went in because I was working out and I felt it pop. I stretched really weird and I knew what it was exactly when it happened because I'd gotten a hernia before 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that one I got while I was singing. And,
damn. What were you doing while you were singing to make...
That was before I knew what I was doing at all. Not that I really know what I'm doing now, but I at least have some technique, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
That was back when I was still kind of just, a cat in a bag shaken up and thrown on stage pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm still a cat in a bag shaken up and thrown on stage.
I know, same.
So when it popped this time, I was like, oh, little hernia right there.
Oh.
And I went in to get checked up and they found a second one that was umbilical. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess my belly button is kind of poking a little bit out there.
Yeah.
So that one I imagine is from, probably singing or lifting or some combo of,
I think I might have
something to do with the band. I'm blaming it on the band.
Yeah.
As you should.
That's pretty metal though. A metal injury. That's kind of sick.
A hernia though, that's really fucked up, man.
Yeah.
The most fucked up part is that it's costing me $17,000.
I was gonna ask you, are you getting hammered?
Yeah,
with medical bills?
Do you not have insurance?
No, I don't.
Oh,
so yes, I am getting truly hammered.
Yeah.
17 grand. But the idea is to come back to Twitch shortly and try to recoup some of that shit. And I have an awesome layout that I got made that is like a carcass themed hernia collage. It's a gore. The whole layout is fucking hernias. It's awesome.
That is fucking sick.
So you do Twitch stuff? That's what you've been doing?
I've been away for a long time. I've been out of it for 4 or 5 months or something, but I'm ready to come back.
All right.
It was fun while I was doing it, and it looked like it was going to be something that would be lucrative for me.
Were you gaming, or were you?
Yeah, mostly retro gaming and just fielding questions about the band, and I also just chill and play music.
Yeah,
just show people bands and stuff, and have a little cutout window that shows when I'm playing on FooBar and stuff, so they can look it up, and
dude,
that's fun. People like that.
I'm sure, yeah. That's
so
really
I'm still trying to figure it out and figure what I should do and kind of how to make my own shot ass Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we make fun of that part in Wayne's World where they go super commercial all the time, and how we don't want to cross that barrier in the podcast.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
I know Naveen does that 10 times a week.
Wayne's World. And they're like, what? But no, I mean, I think it's awesome, the amount of stuff you do that's just in metal, with the playlists and the obituary.
Yeah,
Obituarist.
Well, the Obituarist is kind of just fizzled out. I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
And but it definitely put me on the map as being that kind of a person. You know what I mean? And it was a good look for the band to be giving back to the scene and to show that we actually care about what's happening to the scene that we were born from.
Yeah.
And it's just something I'm already doing. I'm already totally neurotic, buying. The world is ending around me, and I'm getting 3 CDs in the mail every day. So I'm happy.
Dude, I know we've ordered 16 vinyls this week. It's a problem. It's a fucking problem.
I already have that issue, but now it's I don't know. It's just like even more exaggerated because I'm literally just stuck here. So I'm
I know.
Retail therapy, weird Euro black metal.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
So are you like cruising on Bandcamp looking for, or where do you look?
Oh yeah. Well, here's all my secrets basically about how to be the Obituarist, right?
Yeah.
So
get your notepad.
I have just like, I'm not on Facebook technically. I have a blank account with no friends. And I have to have a personal account to run the band's account. Like, you can't just be the band.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I do with that account is I follow every fucking cool band, every cool label, every cool magazine, and it's just tunnel vision on the shit that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm not like getting bombed by Ghost, you know what I mean? Like, no offense to Ghost is fine, but it's not like that's not my shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like deep in the underground and stuff, and like,
Oh yeah.
so I have this constant influx of unfiltered metal information, and it can be too much at times. There's times where I'm just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, I
like,
bet.
give myself a break from this shit for 2 seconds. But so there's that. There's like, I'm still out here downloading. I'm still on SoulSeek. Like, I'm still that guy.
Oh shit.
And, like, I check out like I check out almost every fucking thing that comes out. Honestly, like I watch the labels. Like, once you're like really honed in on what you like, and you kind of put your blinders to the rest of like the garbage under the blanket term metal, you know, it gets easier to like, you know, just do your own thing and kind of hone in on what you do. Yeah. So, yeah, I just kind of like turn a blind eye to all the shit that I don't like, you know, and just really hone in on what I do like, following really small labels, really small bands. I check out bands on the demo level a lot. Bandcamp is very useful. Yeah. I have a, like, get the alerts from Bandcamp. Like, make a separate folder in your email that funnels all the alerts into it.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you know, you can go check it when you want to. Yeah. And that's a great way to keep up on what's coming out. You know, like still checking out the blogs, like, you know, like illegally put up people's music, because they just filter everything through there. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
It's a good way to see what's hitting the airwaves, you know? And like, I was, you know, the end of the Obituarist saw me doing a Spotify playlist, which was like, it hurt my heart because there's just so much great metal that's left off Spotify. Yeah. And there's so many people that just do Spotify, and I want to shake those people. It's like you're selling yourself so short.
I know.
Like putting a cap, like, oh, I can only listen to this because it's not on my format, bro. You know, it's not handed to me on a fucking plate, so I can't listen to it.
That's what it's all about these days. Just like, I need everything perfectly catered directly to me,
platter.
And I only want to pay $12. You know.
Now, see, I still like the hunt. I still like, you know, like even like shopping on the internet is like the weirder stuff you get into, and the more like niche extreme metal, like the harder shit is to find sometimes. And you know, I still enjoy that chase. I love, you know, like, but really, like, once you have a grip on all the different labels out there, it's kind of easy to like feel like you have at least a broad sense of everything that's going on in the death metal world. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And so, you know, but then like I started doing the Obituarist, and then like labels were like bribing me with like free CDs and shit, and that was right up my alley.
Yeah, that's sick. Dude. I want that.
Shit.
Yeah, I want that to happen on this podcast.
I know.
Like, send me the stuff.
Send me the vinyl.
Yeah, let's have
cool
it.
Problem to have, you know, and
totally.
But I'm looking to do something like that, so I think I'm going to try to segue that attitude over into Twitch somehow, you know.
Yeah, I think that's like a great idea. I think you should really do that. Like, I just started watching, you know, Big Chocolate, the Disfiguring the Goddess guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So have you watched his podcast at all? It's like, he's only got like, I think 20 episodes, but it's literally just him chilling at his desk, and he just listens to like brutal death metal, and he's just being weird, like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like, and he just, that's all he does.
Cool.
But it's
that's
super sick, because you just find out about killer music, and it's entertaining, and it's something to even just kind of throw on in the background if you don't know what to listen to and you just want to hear new stuff.
Does he talk much over the song, or
he
does he like let it?
Yeah, he talks over the song, but it's not annoying, like, because he's not
right.
He's not like a guy who's, I don't know how to put this, like he's he's kind of a quirky guy, so it's like he's not like being all professional like radio host, because that would be annoying for sure. But he's kind of like interacting with people. I think he does it live because he's like interacting with,
I think he does,
with people. And I just found out about it last night, and like I was thinking about you could totally do that, because I mean I liked your Spotify playlist and stuff. Like I listened to all of them, and another funny thing that me and Cheney talk about is like anytime I think I've found like the most underground band, I'll go to their Instagram and it's like followed by Trevor.
Dude,
like,
anytime.
I think I did find one that you don't follow though.
Dude,
that's
you know,
really
like,
sick, and I gotta show it to you.
Dude, like just loving this shit so much, like has taken me to like checking out scenes around the world, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Like bands that even have like broken English names that like a lot of people turn a blind eye to in America, you know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Oh, they must be dumb because, you know, they don't have the best grip on English, but they can still sound like Disgorge on fucking meth. You know?
No shit. Yeah. Well, Naveen's really into this Russian black metal band lately.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? It's fucking sick, all in Russian.
It's BES, so Bess. I don't know if that's how you, but it's just on Bandcamp. I put like a little, I put a post up like, hey, send me your guys' black metal, because I've been kind of listening to black metal a little bit lately. Not something that I ever really listened to before. And
cool. Good.
So I've been checking out a lot of stuff, and then someone was like, "Oh, check out this guy." It's just like a one man show from Russia. And dude, it's so fucking sick, dude, and it just rips, and it's like only on Bandcamp. Like he's got like, I don't know, it's like 100 followers on Instagram or something. I'm just like, damn.
Sick.
I think it's the first one I've come to that you don't follow.
A rare gem.
Another thing I was gonna say though is like you kind of actually inspired me to like get back into metal, like as if I was like I did when I was younger. I was just like when I was 16 to
you
like
were
20.
Ravenous for it.
Yeah, just like fuck, I'm getting it. And like, because so many people that are a little older, like, and they've been in bands for a while, they're just like, yeah, everything now sucks. And it's like, no, it doesn't suck. You just don't try anymore.
Yeah, they're super over metal. Yeah. It becomes in vogue at a certain point to like think that metal sucks and fall out of it a little bit.
I'm definitely not with that, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I get that. But then when I saw you like putting up playlists and like hunting for, I was like, dang, I bet I should fucking do that, And like now, every time I say, all right, I'm gonna find something super sick today, like you'll find it, Like it might take a lot of digging, but
it's just part of my day, honestly. Like I check out bands every single fucking day. Like not always new stuff either, but new to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Like you can't only listen to the newest shit out there. Like it takes a time to find stuff. Sometimes you'll be a couple years off. Like
totally.
You can't know everything at once. You can't find out everything at once, but like I still have that hunger. It just brings me a lot of joy to hear new music, and spreading it around just feels like my duty, I guess. I see so much press for metal that I don't give a fuck about, honestly.
Same.
And I'm like, am I even in this same scene? Like, like
I know.
I ask myself, and like, so the Obituarist came out of like necessity. Like you had brutal death metal like coming to a real height, like slam was really coming into like the public eye, and you had labels like New Standard Elite just like popping off, and I thought there's literally no voice for brutal death metal out there, in like the big channels of online metal presence, so I thought, what the fuck, let's do it. And I'm still, it's not that I ran out of bands. I ran out of like adjectives, honestly. Like, I got tired of typing like the whole relapse description that used to get on the OBI strip or whatever. The most skull crushingest, eye jabbingest, fucking labia ripping shit you've ever heard in your fucking life. And you write 30 of those a month for, a couple of years, and you're like, okay, I'm tired of skull crushing.
All right, so maybe you need to get like a really old school like dictionary, from like
I think maybe if I just switch it to this format where I'm just kind of speaking about it off the cuff and not having to type it like fucking homework, it would be more chill. You know what I mean? There was times where the deadline was looking really daunting and stuff, and like I was like felt like, damn, I really painted myself into a corner by doing 30 fucking bands,
It's crazy, man.
Is that what you were doing? 30 bands a month, every month?
Yeah, it was like 30, sometimes even more, sometimes a few less. And, you know, it would range from a few paragraphs to just maybe one or whatever, you know, but just became too much homework. I loved the effect of it. I loved seeing those bands, like, they would write me and be like, holy shit, you know, like, I know the very day you posted about us. Like,
absolutely.
Because it was such a huge rush of attention.
Yeah.
And, you know, they would, like, Frank would tell me that it would get like 10,000 hits or something, you know what I mean? So like 10,000 people hearing this little brutal, you know, technical death metal band or something, like in death metal terms, that is fucking massive exposure.
Peak. Yeah, that's peak.
It's absolutely true. Honestly, like, I don't think that Malcolm Pugh would have played with our band had it not been for you putting us both on a list in the same month. Yeah. That was how
that's cool. That's cool. And I've heard like other stories like that where like something I did kind of affected things or affected the way things would play out, or like, you know, I've helped a lot of bands get signed. I've helped, you know, like bands come to me sometimes and I'm like, yo, man, check this record out. I'm like, this is the shit. I think these labels would like it. I can try to grease the wheel for them, you know, like, I just enjoy this aspect. I enjoy helping bands. I want to see more bands that I care about being in the limelight, you know what I mean? Yeah, and
totally.
So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun to be this guy, you know, like known as this guy. And I just saw, like, you know, a few years ago, even with the BDM accounts, I started posting like records I liked, you know, like in the off season where we're like writing and recording or something. There's not much to report necessarily. Yeah. Or, you know, just on downtime, I would, you know, post some classics that were kind of like influence the band and then just whatever. And people seemed to respond to it. So, you know, it was like a massive response. They were really thankful about it. So that kind of like led me towards thinking about doing something like the Obituarist, you know, and now, you know, as soon as I really figure it out, I'm going to dial it into to Twitch. And
I think you have to do it. I think you have to do it. That'd be so sick, dude. That'd be so sick. And I remember a while ago you did like a DJ set like before the Corona thing and everything, and I was like, dang, that's so perfect for him. That's like just awesome. Like, I think more of that would be really cool. I've always wanted to do that here in Santa Cruz. It's like, do a fucking death metal night somewhere.
Yeah,
you know, like,
totally.
Right.
The same way that this electronic music thing is spread. It's like, fucking do the same thing. Who cares? Hang out and drink beer and listen to metal. That's like, what could be more fun than that?
I know.
Right. I did DJ at St. Vitus one night, and that was cool. But there's always that line of like people don't just want to hear new shit. I think when you have a beer in your hand and you're like socializing,
you got to play the classics.
True.
Right. And I kind of learned that. I was like, all right, you know, I can't just play like ovarian despoilment all the time. You know, I got to like play some shit people will know.
Oh yeah, you got to play the classics, but you know, you sprinkle it in.
It is like a DJ set. DJs will go out and they'll like play to the crowd and they'll throw in some old shit, throw in some new shit, and make it all fit together really well. And that, you know,
I think that would be super
makes the
fun. I think that would be just so cool. I would love to just.
I do too. As a metalhead, it's like I long for that kind of night, because in Santa Cruz where we live, it's like, that doesn't really exist, but there's so many fucking people here who are into metal.
It's crazy. It's like a metal town. Like you'll see people running around with like brutal death metal shirts.
That's just sick as fuck as it is, man. I mean, there's especially if you're talking about brutal death culture, like so much brutal death, you know, comes from Cali, and like so much of its like definitive sounds and stuff were born in Cali, you know, like so.
Well, especially like in the early 2000s, kind of when I was like really getting into brutal death metal and stuff.
Yeah, that was the golden era right there.
It's like the whole Unique Leader thing was like blowing up, you know. And
it was like before Pro Tools abuse, drums took over everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just good times, man. Like albums still had personality. They sounded different from each other. You had like Severed Savior coming down the pipe on mp3.com and like blowing my fucking mind and shit like that. And you know, hearing Decrepit Birth for the first time before the LP drop was like,
dude. Did you hear it?
You were there. You got to fucking see it.
Did you hear the first Decrepit song that came out, like, and it had Kevin Talley playing drums on it? It's actually Prelude to the Apocalypse, that song. Like they put that out like on, I think they put it out on MySpace or something like that.
It had that wasn't around yet. It might have been mp3.com. It was like that was the big thing then.
Yeah, like I lived with my mom, so I was like 15 or 16. You know what I mean? It was like way back in the day. And
like
then,
MP3.com was it at the time for getting metal bands signed and shit. And that was kind of like how we leveraged ourselves on the Metal Blade, was like we had a lot of success on MP3.com at the time.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. But
we were like topping the charts for like a few weeks on a 3-song demo of like 3 songs that would be on Hollowed, you know. Mm-hmm. And
okay. And then from there, that's how you got linked with Metal Blade.
Well, we sent, I mean, I was always this guy, like when I came into the band, I was like, I want to be in a band that gets fucking signed and I want to tour. And I think that was the thing that spoke to the guys the most in the band, was like, wow, this guy's like serious. He wants to like do something. You know what I mean? Like I had like been on a shitty ass tour with like a really shitty band of mine before that, and just had a taste of like traveling and stuff, and was like, yo. And just ever since I was a kid and read Henry Rollins' Get in the Van book about like touring with Black Flag, and it was pretty much just one long complaint, but I don't know. I just was like, I have to do this. I had, you know, like the whole like controlling your own destiny and, you know, like building your bands from the ground up and like making the fucking record covers and, you know, doing all the like gritty, you know, fucking behind the scenes work was like the most fun part, the most like awesome part. But anyway,
I love that part of it. Totally. I can totally relate on that.
So we sent 30 packages out to labels. They had our EP that we put out on Love Lost. We were the first band on Love Lost, so they were like a just, you know, small label that like burnt out shortly after. But Into the Moat also came from Love Lost.
Okay.
Remember?
Oh, I love Into the Moat. I talk about them all the time.
Mm-hmm, they're sick. Anyway, so we got 28 rejection letters out of the 30. We did every label, big to small, some leaning into the punk scene, you know, hardcore, and some not, you know what I mean? Just a bit of everything, because even at that point, we knew we like straddled those lines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were in a hardcore scene being the most metal band of the bunch, basically, you know what I mean, at the time. And
well, like, there was just so much more of a hardcore scene like at that time than like an underground metal scene. That's how it was for us.
There was, and I mean, you guys probably had more of one to speak of in Cali, of course, but out here in Detroit, like the death metal bands were scattered, and there wasn't like you were lucky as a death metal band to like realize you could play these metalcore shows, you know what I mean? And like with success and stuff. So like the early days we were playing with like Circle of Dead Children, Creation is Crucifixion, and like all these like early Willow Tip bands that were kind of like in that blurred area, you know what I mean? Like Willow Tip has gotten more metal as time has gone on, but like they started out with like that kind of gray area stuff, you know what I mean?
It's like more, that to me was more like like I considered it to be like more grind core, like I knew about all that. I knew about all that stuff, and like those bands would play. There was a house here in Santa Cruz that had like just shows there, you know, like a little punk house. But like those bands would put like Creation is Crucifixion played there, and like a bunch of that stuff. But that wasn't really my shit at the time, for sure. But anyway,
especially if you saw them at their like ultra political height, where the dude just talked for 45 minutes and they played like 13 minutes of music. Jesus Christ. They were the most punk band that has ever been, like to the point where it's like we're going to stop using instruments, you know, because they're made out of trees.
Yeah. I actually have like an old Creation is Crucifixion LP, and it's like, I remember like all their packaging was always like just brown cardboard.
Yeah, they have like some cool packaging sometimes, and like lots of like mech schematics and shit like that.
Yeah,
and like
I had the one that was a CD, and it was like a box, and then it had like a huge book in it that had
the book that taught you how to program Game Boy to make a Game Boy game to teach kids how to masturbate.
Yeah, I had that, but I don't have it anymore. I'm kind of bummed. I don't know what.
I'm bummed you don't have that.
Crazy sexual politics and stuff, and like like wow, dude, that's some out there shit, guys. Like I'm just here to hear you rip the fretboard, man. Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. But things like I don't know if like the hardcore scene back then was a lot more colorful. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I think that there was a time where everyone had kind of let their guards down to like you're metal, you're hardcore, and just kind of like the parallelogram was intersecting for a while.
I know.
Right.
And I even think about that with like death metal. Like we didn't consider like in the early 2000s, it was all death metal. It wasn't like, oh well, they're deathcore and
They're
that's
technical
death
metal.
metal and that's slam. And it's like there just wasn't, you know, like
right.
I could point to bands from that era. It's like, okay, Disgorge would be considered to be slam, right? And then like Necrophagus would be like technical death metal,
right?
And then I don't know, whatever. But I'm saying like they were all just that to me. I just called it death metal. Like yeah, I'm into death metal,
yeah,
so I listen to it.
Now there's one of each kind of dude.
It's true.
There's the tech death dude.
Yeah,
There's the
I know.
Disgorge only dude.
Yep.
You know, like
yeah.
People want to like be in a box.
It's
and keep it
so
that way.
true.
Some of them, you know what I mean? It's really weird.
It's so true. It feels like it's gotten more like that over time, and it's like people are now just taking one aspect of an older band and making it into their entire band.
A genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. True.
Yeah. It's very.
Yeah.
Which is like I get it, but there's not enough people to do that with. It's already like we're already doing death metal, so that's a real small sliver of the population.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be splitting that up too, you know.
I mean, I love how it's constantly going in every direction though. Like there's
I do too.
New bands that are really slick sounding, going as fast as humanly possible and pushing the Olympic end of things, you know, like
true.
Your Arch Spires and stuff like that. Then you have bands from Maggot Stomp and that corner of things that are like total lowbrow caveman, like lo-fi, like duty riffs, you know, like straight up just like going back to the beginning, the infancy of death metal. When it wasn't about chops, it was just about making music that sounded like a horror movie soundtrack, or you know, like making purposely negative sounding music was basically the early goal of death metal. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't like this lofty goal to be like, you know, like Blast Beats came in soon and like, you know, that went in that direction, of course. But initially people were just trying to make atmospheric music that exuded bad vibes. You know what I mean? Bad time music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's bands like young bands now coming out obsessed with the old school. And I love seeing that. Like I want to see all these kinds of corners of death metal live on. I want to see it just keep going. Just imagine it like a fucking diagram of a tree, and it's just like a million offshoots and different sounds and generations and stuff. And like, I don't know. I just still love it. You know, like it's still, checking out new music just gives me life. It gets me excited. It gets me excitement to share new bands with people and like, you know, see the effects of that a little bit maybe.
Totally.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, like, I just love the scene so much. I love music so much that I would feel criminal to shut up about it. Yeah, you know, like I can't. Like it's just how I am.
Yeah.
And
which I think is awesome, because it's like a lot of people once their band grows, they become out of touch with like what's going on the ground level of things, and you haven't done that at all.
And I think there's a lot of that, and I think there's also a jealousy.
You're 100%.
Anyone that has any kind of success, even however small, some bands won't give them like airtime. Like, oh, we're gonna lose our fans if I put Arch Spire up on our page. Like, no, dude, your fans are gonna thank you.
I know.
Being their friend and like helping them out.
Totally,
it's very true.
Like, that's the real result of it. Like, I don't feel like BDM is giving our fans away by exposing kids to like too much shit that's better than us, or like, I don't know.
Not at all. It makes them
better than us.
It makes
like,
you their friend.
Exactly.
What do you do with your friends? You like show them shit.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I like, even with the way that you just interact with people on the BDM page, I think that you are very good at being personable with people and not like outing or making yourself seem like you're different from any of your fans. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's really been the goal, and kind of why I've kept a tight grip on our social media this whole time, because people know it's me, and it's always been me at the other end of it, and they just respect that. Like, you know, I can't answer every fucking person, but you know, like I make a pretty valiant effort, you know, and I don't know, they just like, I didn't know that being a computer nerd was going to be such a massive part of this entire thing and the band's success. But it honestly is, dude. Like, if you're not on your social media game and you want to be like a present band, you know, like I fucking hate social media. It sucks.
Yeah, agreed.
Look what it's doing to the fucking world. But also,
I know
you need you need it. These are the channels that people care about now. Yeah. Like, unfortunately,
it's totally fucking true. And I feel like, so, you know, I saw you say that 20 years ago today is when you guys played your first show. And it's like, I feel like a lot of bands who have hit that age, some people, when the social media thing came around, like, let's say 07, some people just like totally turn their fucking backs to it, and they hate it so much that they still refuse to kind of embrace that it really is an important part of growing a band at this point.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, Vince over at Metal Blade was like pushing me towards Twitch for a long time, and like, he was right, you know, like this whole, you know, pandemic has definitely given a bigger push in that direction, because, you know, like, look at how many Zooms are happening every fucking day now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, don't you wish you had Zoom stock before if this all went down? You know, like,
no
holy
shit.
Fuck.
I know.
But like, this virtual world is becoming more commonplace. Like, it's people's fucking school. It's people talking to their families. It's, you know, like, it's our band surviving, dropping a new record, and we can't play a single fucking show on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm trying to be omnipresent here, you know, like, take every interview I can, be on everybody's live Instagram that I can. And, you know, like, sometimes, like, during the shutdown, it feels like I'm in a band by myself. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm the guy at the helm of all these social medias and stuff. And, yeah, like, I'm taking the brunt of people's punishment sometimes. You know what I mean? And, like, just, like, being away and not having, like, we're never together now. There's a band, but there's no band.
Right.
It's fun. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So when
now being in the band is just social media.
It's totally true. I mean, did you guys, so when this all happened, did you guys have the thought with Verminous, like, was there talk of not putting the album out until?
Yes, there was. But I think it was the LPs that kind of, like, were already in motion, and we couldn't, like, stop the train, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we took the jump, because we were in before all the protests and stuff, like, really clouded the airwaves with info and shit. Like, that was the innocent times during the lockdown. You know what I mean? Like, the happier time of the lockdown was near the beginning, when we thought, like, oh, 2 weeks, you know? Like,
I remember.
So, yeah, like, we honestly played out as best as it could have, for, like, you know, us not being on the Testament tour, which would have been fucking amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, that hurt, dude. Like, that was, like, one of the biggest blows we've ever endured, you know?
Yeah, I bet, man.
It was going to be the biggest fucking highest profile tour we'd ever done.
Yeah. I know. We were sort of talking about that this morning. I was like, yeah, Black Dahlia had a Testament tour that got canceled because of this whole thing. And to us, it's like, we were on not a Testament size tour. That's not what we canceled. And for us, it was like, okay, cool. Well, like, you know, we'll have some time off or whatever. But for a band like yours, who was about to go on such a fucking huge thing that would have actually, like, been really great for you guys, that has to be painful to, like.
Oh yeah, it does. It is. And it, you know, like, we're a band that, like, our music is staked a lot in the big four, and, you know, those like thrash bands, like, surrounding it and stuff.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like, I feel like we have a lot of potential to reach new fans in a Testament crowd.
I totally agree. I think that of any band that is, like, younger, like you guys are, with that crowd, it's the fun. I mean, dude, to me, you know, 40 is the new 20, man. But it's like, of the younger bands, you guys would do so fucking well with a crowd like that. Like, you have a thing that those people would react to. It's not like you have a touch of the old school, and I think those people would really like you guys.
I mean, even more so now, like, that we got Brandon in the band, like, he's injected the new records with even more classic metal.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so sick.
more leather,
so
baby, more leather.
It's so true. He's got the 80s rock god vibe going on. You know,
when you guys put out the first single with him on the last album, I was just like, man, that's so legit, dude. That's just
dude, I mean, it's been amazing having him aboard, and the lineup we have now is just like the dream lineup. Like, everyone really is so fucking cool in the band. Everyone is so relaxed.
It's probably everybody wants to do it on the same level.
Yeah, we're all on the same level. There's never like,
that's the hardest part. You know?
Oh, this guy's not doing his stuff. You know what I mean? Or like pulling his weight. Like, that's a non-issue. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody that's in the band like has agreed to this enormous sacrifice, because you can't say no to Black Dahlia Murder. There is no. You get asked if you can go on tour. Like, go in someone else's band, like that are pussies, okay?
Dude, but that's real though. One thing you said to Naveen, it's fucking real. But on that, okay, the tour that we did with Black Dahlia, you said something to Naveen that we've kept with our band this entire time, and you're like, just take everything you get. Yeah, like take do it all. Because it's like,
dude, if you tried to like only look a certain way to a certain group of people and like that's your priority, like, nah, man, like, don't put a glass ceiling on what you're doing. Like, realize the potential for crossover if there is some, and fucking exploit the fucking shit out of it.
Yeah,
it's true.
Exactly. And I know that, you're just like do every tour, man. Like, that's what we did, and I was like, damn.
I mean, there's got to be some discretion, of course. Like, but like, don't be afraid to like, you have to. There was a time when I had to be like, listen. Like, I have to put my pride aside here and realize what Black Dahlia Murder fans like. And it's not always touring with Carcass. You know what I mean? Like, there's tons of like, you know, tons of different kinds of fans that like our band. And a lot of them are young and like a younger generation of metal than I do. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, so you'll see us on totally deathcore lineups, and you'll see us on the more like metal leaning, and then everything in between, and then sometimes with fucking Harm's Way in tow. Like, mix it up, dude. Like, you know, like, we're just realizing that Black Dahlia Murder is this fucking weird sore thumb band, always has been, and just going with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, not trying to be like, I can't do that or they won't think I'm death metal.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like that, like, I understand like having your like narrow vision and like your pride or whatever and that, but like, if you want to be a big fucking band and get out there, dude, like, diversify a little bit, man. You
it's
know, be
real.
open to it.
And it's not to say like you guys have adopted all the sounds of every band that you've toured with. I mean, you guys have had Black Dahlia sound since you came out. You know, of course, it's changed here and there.
I've justified a lot of what we've done. Like, I went to Warped Tour doing exactly what I do every day in Black Dahlia Murder. I went out there, I swore at the crowd. I was a weird fat ass with glasses and made people laugh, and you know, like, so I had no shame in going to Warped Tour, you know. So people still like, I still see people like rag on us about that, you know, but like at this point my skin is so thick from being fucking made fun of and all, you know, like, whatever, who gives a fuck? If you have success, you have detractors.
It's so true.
You know?
I've always thought that it's like,
if you don't have detractors, you're not successful,
dude. Like, that's exactly what I say.
Don't get a big head, if you don't, motherfuckers are shitting on you.
Yeah, if you don't have hate, if you're not getting hate from somewhere, you're not as big as you want to be. You have to have hate.
For sure.
It's got to be there.
For sure.
But I think because of that, you've been able to pull in a very diverse crowd that all agrees on one thing, and that's that they love Black Dahlia. You have people from every walk.
I feel that. Oh, I look at the crowd. I see every fucking walk of the underground. And they're all the same people that are online after we post something. They're in a genre fight about what genre we are. But they're all at the show. I don't care what they're fucking calling us.
I know,
I don't
dude.
care if they call us like heavy bark. Like, I don't like, whatever. Like, if you like it, I don't care what you think it is. It's not an insult to me. I don't care.
Agreed.
Like it, please.
Exactly. That's all that matters. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just like our music. That's it.
Well, do you ever feel like, since you listen to so many different like sub-genres of metal, are you ever like, dang, because I like, I'm just going to say that because my own experience, sometimes I'll listen to like, whatever I'm listening to, I want to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, me too.
So I'm like,
I feel
shit,
tremendous jealousy listening to any good band.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I want to do every fucking thing.
So I'm like
I
maybe,
really do.
Yeah, it's like, all right, like I'm into black metal and stuff like that, and I listen to a lot of like, I'm kind of getting a lot more into like, you would call it slam, I guess, these days. But I'm like, all right, maybe next album it's gonna be a black metal album.
Yeah,
Dude, fuck it. You know, like, you know what I mean? But and like,
I mean, we still like. DDM is very much a melting pot of sounds, and we still take inspiration from all corners of things.
Definitely.
And like even shit outside of metal will influence us in like stuff that will crack people up, honestly. Like Brandon and I are sitting in the lounge of the bus listening to fucking Eddie Money, and in the chorus it drops to just the guitar and the vocals, and we look at each other and we're like, write that down.
yeah.
Totally.
I mean,
you know,
that's the way to do it, man, for sure. But sometimes I see like bands that they just adhere to like one thing, right? They just plug and play. It's like they've got the logo that matches that genre, and they're just doing everything by the book. And it seems like that way of doing it will get your band like a little bit bigger quicker. You know what I mean? But it seems like long term, it doesn't really work out because you're just riding like a genre wave. The glass ceiling of like whatever small niche that you're shooting for. Yeah. You know, and like what we wanted to do with Black Dahlia Murder in the beginning. All we wanted to do is be taken seriously as a death metal band. Yeah. And when people said otherwise, like I got butthurt. You know, like, but like over time, I just realized, being this weird bastard child band, you know, like is why we're here, is why people know who we are, like accidentally just being different, you know? Exactly. And I think that works out for you guys long term, because it's just like you've got your own thing created, and if whatever genre isn't big at the time, it doesn't matter because you're existing outside.
Oh, see, I look at the band like as having like look at Converge, for example. They have their own lane, dude. They just do, you know, and like trends come and go, and people, and they just stay awesome. And like fucking, you know, like I hope that people look at us with that same kind of regard as I look at Converge, you know, like, so like, I think just making music that you like is such an important part of it. Like, I still enjoy creating this music with the band. I look forward to it. I love seeing what they've learned in between two albums. I love seeing what like there's growth every record. You know what I mean? Like, they're just getting better and better. And we all do, I think. And it's still happening. So I feel so young in terms of creativity with this band. Like, I feel like we have just now gotten like a real professional sheen on things. And like, you know, I want to like just keep going with this and like be more emotive and more gripping and more like that was kind of the focus shift. Bringing Brandon in a bit was it has been for the last few years, I guess, even before that, was just making the music more dramatic. We have the very basic building blocks of making BDM songs for fucking ever, but like the key now is like microscopic choices and you know, key changes and like special, you know, interesting turnarounds and like fucking cool rhythmic ideas, and just like you know, taking the basic framework of BDM but like still putting new shit into it, you know, like still like I mean, he's like, Brandon is such a progressive writer too, you know what I mean? And Alan is a progressive fucking drummer, so it's like a really good marriage with those guys.
He's really
and we're seeing more of Alan's colorful side as these records get made, you know what I mean? Like, especially the last one, he just really like put his fucking stamp on it, you know? And I'm just here like feeling lucky to be here, honestly. Like, I think I'm here because I'm good to talk to, mostly.
Fun guy to be around.
Like, I have the charisma end of this, and like being the mouthpiece down to a science, you know. And I'm doing my thing in that regard. Like, I work fucking hard at this.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like it's and, you know, I think that sometimes the guys don't even realize how much hours and like bullshit goes into doing the social media. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's such a, it's a job. There are people who are employed doing the social media.
And, you know, we could easily do that, but I don't want to give up that personal aspect. I don't want to give up our unique sense of humor, especially.
Yeah.
And, you know, bringing people into this band, like, we won't bring anyone that can play the music in. Like, you have to be a killer fucking person at this point.
Right.
You have to be easy to tour with, you know, positive, forward thinking, on your game about doing your homework, because we don't practice regularly anymore.
Right.
We haven't for years. You know, like, we get together 3 days before a tour and kick the dust off, and hopefully everybody's been like doing their homework, and they have, you know. So
exactly.
You know, everyone's responsible for what they've got to do. It's just taken so seriously by every member that, like, I don't know, it's so fucking easy to be with these guys. Like, it's really just the dream lineup. We've really fine-tuned it into like what we needed and wanted, and it's just so fucking nice, man. It really is.
Yeah, that's the biggest part about touring with people for that long, is that you really it's a personality thing just as much as it is like this person is sick at their instrument. You know, I don't know if people who don't tour full time really realize how serious that is.
Oh man, when you have Mr. Negative in your band, let me tell you. All right,
dude.
You say you're staying at somebody's house. They give you a sandwich. They give everyone sandwiches, and you have the kid that goes, you know, if this had fucking honey mustard on it, it would be better.
Yeah.
I know. It's like,
dude,
I had that dude. You know, like we've had a couple of those dudes through the band, and like
I've been there.
those little things just fucking great at your whole vibe, dude. Like,
it's so true.
You need positivity. Like, touring sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's camping. It
really is
camping.
Dude, no matter what level you're at, even if you're in a bus and everything and you have catering and everything, touring still sucks at the, you know, the bottom line
at the very core of it is it sucks.
Yeah.
There's little sleep. You know, like, when people see you on tour, they don't realize like you're never at 100%.
Ever.
Like, you're never like, if they were to meet you like on a regular day in your neighborhood, when you're showered, well slept, well fed, sane, like people meet you on tour, like you are climbing uphill, you know, when you're meeting these people, basically. So, you know, sometimes it takes patience and tolerance, you know, because you know, sometimes people are punishers, dude. Sometimes
I know
it can be brutal, man. You know, I always have tried to be like fan forward and like extend my hand, and like, you know, that's been my reputation. But like, sometimes people are too much, you know what I mean? Like,
so true.
I've been on the other end of that too. I've been the drunk punisher that like
I pride myself in my drunk punishing.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, dude, I can terminate, dude, for sure.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna get it, all right, man.
Who do you?
You're not getting. No, I'm like, I'll straight up give it to people.
Oh yeah. Who do you think you've been the worst like drunk punisher?
Well, no, the one that really makes me cringe the hardest is Billy from Biohazard, and I had this like insano bender one night on Soundwave in Australia. And the next day, I'm like super hungover. I was blacked out as fuck the previous night. And I saw Billy at lunch, and I just walked up with my tray. I was like, kind of timid, you know, like, hey, man, really love Urban Discipline. You're the shit. And he's like, yeah, man, we met last night. I was on a fucking tear. Yeah, there was a booth giving away free vodka Red Bulls, basically.
Oh, fuck.
That's not good.
Girls in bikinis just pumping you full of vodka Red Bulls.
Oh, no. That's my end.
So,
yeah.
So, yeah, it was my end. I definitely, like, embalmed myself there.
I get that.
And on that note, though, I don't think I'm drinking anymore. I think I'm out. I think I've fucking stamped my card. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
What
Good to go, huh?
What turned the page on that one?
just getting too old, man. Honestly, the hangover experience now is filled with so much anxiety and terror.
I know, dude.
And having that during the world collapsing too is like extra. It's like extra punishment.
Yeah.
And just the amount of drinking that we would do out on tour, like, it's just not sustainable for going to my 40s. Like, there's no fucking way that I can get trashed on a half bottle of Jameson every night for 30 nights in a row. Like, you know, like, and it's all just to maintain this fucking expected face of Trevor, the wild guy from the DVD. That was, you know,
that's
I mean?
why you,
like,
is that true? Like, how you feel that you stay
feel
drunk?
like,
because
I mean,
of that?
we always had this party rep, you know, but like, it really came to a head after the DVDs came out. And what you don't realize is, like, the DVD is us really at the greatest moment of this entire band. Like, we were headlining Summer Slaughter, Nocturnal was out, the whole world was our fucking oyster at that moment.
Yeah.
We were above Cryptopsy, Cataclysm, Psychroptic, like, all these bands are my favorite fucking bands. The tour was amazing, you know, like, and you see in that DVD that we are beaming, you know, we're so happy. Like, it was just the moment, you know what I mean? Like, when everything just came like full circle and was like, whoa. So of course we're celebrating, you know what I mean? Of course we're getting drunk with fucking Mauser from Vader, you know what I mean? Like, we're like having a good time, you know, like, for sure. We're young, at the top of this huge bill, and we were fucking celebrating. So that's what you see, a collage of all the celebration happening from that fun ass tour and experience. And then everyone expects us to have that bar, you know, of like having like mithril livers. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I'm just looking to get the confidence I had in the early days when I was just this dork ass straight edge kid. You know what I mean? That would go up on stage just the same. And, you know, like, so it's going to be a transition, like getting back into playing shows again. Like, I've done it before for like 8 months, you know, but
that's a long time.
It was more like coming down from the management of my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like an order coming down from management, than like an actual life choice I was making for myself. So I was embittered during that time.
Of course, because
you know
that's
I mean?
never a good place to catch someone at. Like, you have to do this to maintain our relationship. I command you to, like, be this person. I don't know that
it was really laid out in 72-point font that clearly like that. But that was pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah.
And it has been a strain on my relationships, you know, like every dumb thing I've done out on tour has been when I was trashed. Or when I blacked out and lost my glasses and was blind for a fucking week and had to be like literally held by the hand backstage at these fucking European festivals because I couldn't even see what I was taking from catering.
Whoa.
Like, humiliating.
Yeah.
You know, like, just like being a fucking infant and having to tell your girlfriend that already hates you for drinking too much all the time. That, like, hey, I fell on my face walking up a hill, broke my glasses in the fucking dark, and now I'm literally this helpless infant man.
Like, it's not good.
Like, how much stupid shit can you do before you're just like, all right, this is really the catalyst for all my problems in life. Honestly, it really is.
Yeah.
You know, so really the struggle now is going to be getting to that level of confidence, you know, again, where I'm just that maniac that was that cat in a bag, like that we started with.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
So,
we did a tour with Gorod in Europe, and Gorod really fucking likes to party, right? So we partied very hard on that tour, and then when Naveen and I got home, we were like, we're so unhealthy, it's time to turn this shit around and go like full bodybuilding, sober people thing. So we did a couple of...
That was insane what you guys have done.
It's
fucking crazy.
So
you guys parking at the gym, right? So you can rip the gym in every town and hit the showers.
Yeah.
The shower aspect is like crucial. I mean, you should do that anyway, because we took a shower every day.
Every single day. Twice a day, some days.
But I will say we're not like that now, just FYI.
We're not, but honestly, I was facing that anxiety going on tour because honestly, dude, as a front person, it's a little easier when you have like 2 or 3 shots in you
dude, that's totally
before you go on stage.
That's why I started drinking how I did, was to lube up the personality, to be the orator that they want out there, to like say the funny shit they want to hear, to like just get in that party vibe, you know what I mean?
Dude, but this is all like a mind fuck that perpetuates itself, because you're almost telling yourself like, I have to be fucked up in order to be that person. But in reality, like once you go out and you're sober for a little while and you start to get comfortable with it, just a nice like joint and a little bit of coffee can send you into the same mindset. You can be the same person. But it's easy to rely on that lubricant, I think.
Oh, for sure, dude. And it's definitely, you know, become a crutch. And like, you know, like since I've been home, you know, I've only drank a couple times during lockdown, honestly, wow. like maybe a 10 altogether. And, you know, so it's not like of necessity for my like physical body that I'm drinking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's literally for the show.
Dude,
literally to like get into the character
that
people are expecting, you know? And so yeah, you get in this weird cycle, this weird catch-22. You stop believing in yourself, like in that aspect. You know what I mean?
So
like,
true.
It's fucking weird. It sucks.
Yeah.
And you know, being a front person especially, I think we take more abuse. I think we take more scorn online. I think that like. And, you know, segueing into doing more social media within the last few years has put me in front of more abuse to me personally and our band, you know, because you're the sole guy running social media and you're seeing the fucking haters and you're flicking them off like fleas and like, you know, so like that kind of shit can wear you down, man. Like, so it's you know, times are just changing.
Yeah.
It's harder to do this than it was before.
Absolutely. I mean, before
it is.
Yeah, and I talk about that all the time. Like, yeah, when it was MySpace, it's like you had only one place to hear your song online, right? So it's like we just had this crazy. You'd have like a MySpace song with like millions of plays on it and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And now it's so hard to get that sort of like
you
like
can't
attention.
What's happening?
It's
anymore.
Crazy, and like I think that's one of the things that people that are a little bit from the maybe older, late 30s, mid 30s, whatever. It's like I just see a lot of people that I know like taking it the wrong way, but really all it is like shit just changes, man. You know, and you have to just
like people just measure themselves by Spotify, and that does not apply to every fucking band and every scene.
It absolutely doesn't.
Look at Power Trip. Power Trip is a huge fucking phenomenon. You know what I mean? And like maybe they didn't do so great on Spotify because they're a punk band and people buy their fucking records.
Dude, totally. And they're like, a live band too.
A live band.
Yeah.
And punk is punk has a collecting culture. Hardcore has a collecting culture built into it. And so people are like buying their shit on the ground level, and you don't see the ripple in Spotify necessarily. It's not indicative of everything. It's not fucking everything. It's not the bar of your worth. You know what I mean? Like we have such a culture of collection in our band that I think a lot of people that are super hardcore for our band opt for physical copies, kind of like maybe following my influence. You know what I mean?
And
I'm
sure.
The standard I set for myself in the scene and like, you know, like my dedication to it, like I kind of see that trickle down a little bit. So, you know, even our Spotify numbers aren't entirely indicative of the size of this whole monster.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's not, you know?
Yeah, I think you guys have done it as far as collecting culture too. It's like with you guys, like definitively teaming up with Kareem, and Kareem has such a mind for like all of that cool like shit that people want to collect type merch. It's been like you guys are able to like put out just cool stuff that I don't know if it would work with other bands, and your fans like really love that shit and eat it up. Like that vinyl that you guys put out with the green slime is so fucking cool, and it's such a collector's thing, and I think that a lot of your fans just really react to that. It's just really fucking cool.
For sure, you know, and it stems a lot from the Blast Fiends group, which like started as our unofficial fan club that we didn't have anything to do with, you know, like kids made it on their own. And of course, we found them and, you know, recognized them after a while and then linked our Facebook to it. And, you know, I've befriended all the moderators. They're fucking awesome. Like Jarrell, for example, has followed us sometimes like 15 days on a tour. I'll get them in every fucking night. You know what I mean? Like these kids are like Grateful Dead heads for Black Dahlia Murder in some cases, you know, like it's fucking insane. Yeah. And just like the culture they've instilled, I think is a trickle down from sort of my own like just insanely like neurotic collecting, you know, like it's just what I do and like what brings me joy. And like, you know, like even now I can't wait to go look downstairs and see if there's a fucking CD waiting for me.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like I'm 39, like I'm almost 40, you know, but like the band getting signed when it did and me just being able to like swan dive entirely into metal at that point and just live in it, like has been the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. And has been who I am and like the strength in my life, where in high school and shit, I was so tight-lipped and kind of like that crack slipping person. You know what I mean? Like I really came into who I am through success of this band and like seeing something we made with our hands, like be loved. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's you know, it is the most amazing feeling, the feeling that drives this entire want to do this. You know, so like if you're in a band that doesn't have that want, like what's the point? You know, if you're in a band that is playing music you don't like to be more accessible, like what's the fucking point? If you're in a band bringing people in that you don't like because they can just play it, what's the point? Like it's hard to do this. You have to do it right, or why fucking bother? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. Like, you see bands that don't trust each other because, like, money and stuff.
I know.
Like,
you said they'll fight on tour, and they'll all be talking shit about each other on tour. And it's like, dude, how are you guys in a fucking band together?
You can be trapped in a bus with two other bands, and one of them will be in a big monetary fight like that. It's so true. And hate each other. And, like, shit loudly to you with them and stuff. Like, get bad. Like, we never had that kind of shit. Like, we've always split stuff 5 fucking ways. We still do. Even Brian and I are being the old guys here from the day one. We want everybody in this band to have as much fucking motivation to do it as we do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to be taken as much as we are. And like, you know, we're not fucking rich or something, but like, you know, like I live pretty modestly, I would say, you know, like I have a small apartment. I don't collect cars. I don't, like, it's just not my world. Like, like my only material vice is fucking music, honestly. Totally. And, that's sick, so like, it's just really, this opportunity has perpetuated adolescence for me. Absolutely. Possible. Like I'm still like, unfortunately, maybe depending on how you look at it, but like, I feel like I am still a kid. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, and, I enjoy it. I like being juvenile. I like my weird Peter Pan ass world. I'm fine. Like whatever, you know what I mean?
With
like,
no kids and just no responsibilities, dude. I fucking love it.
A lot of people, they don't even think about it that deep. Like you're saying you're a kid, but you're aware of what life you've carved out for yourself. And it's like, you know, I see that all the time in like the more normal world, I might call it. You know, people just kind of fall into all these responsibilities that they don't necessarily want, and they get all this stuff that they don't necessarily want because, you know, the world we live in is like, you know, buy this, you know, get this car, or like, you know, finance this thing. And I'm just like, I think about that so much, is just like, why am I doing this, you know? And I feel so much better when I'm like, okay, I'm doing this thing that maybe I don't want to do, like a part-time job or whatever, to support the thing that I do like. And yeah, maybe it's sort of juvenile. It's like the same thing that I've done since I was 16 or whatever, but like that's what makes me feel like life's worth living. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I love that.
Yeah, shit. Man. I get it. I definitely get it. And like I've literally gone so hard in this direction that like I don't even have a plan B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no question in my mind that I'm going to be in music and doing something with music. Like, literally, like, there's no signs of stopping the band, obviously, but even if some crazy, something happened, I don't know. Like, I would just do something else. Like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. You're going to be seeing my mug, and you have to fucking deal with it.
It's fucking...
That's so awesome, man.
Totally.
And, like, that's honestly way inspiring. Like, you guys, and, I talk about it a lot, BTBAM as well. Just, like, doing it right, like just kind of the model. Like,
dude,
here's how you do it, and fucking
so great, and they've just done so well for themselves. I'm so fucking proud of those guys.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
And just so many bands of our generation like aren't around anymore. You know what I mean?
It's
most
crazy.
Most
like I think about
Red Chord, for example, was like their biggest moment was like before they were signed. I think when the first record just had so much heat and every label was coming after them, and they just, the first time we saw them live, we played with them opening.
Yeah, I remember you guys and them played in San Francisco at the Pound when Zach Gibson was still in the band. Yeah, and I remember going to that show and seeing you guys, and like that was so fun. That was probably close to 20 years ago, to be honest. I mean, that was fucking.
Dude, the Pound shows were amazing, man. Like, talk about a fucking experience, dude.
Yeah.
They would always get so hot and sweaty. It'd be like a jungle in there. Like, you could see the mist over the crowd. But like, people got so fucking crunk at those shows, man. Holy shit, they were so fun.
I was gonna say, did you guys tour with Converge and Cephalic Carnage?
No, we toured with Cephalic Carnage and a few different.
Okay, because I went to like these two shows at the Pound when I was younger, and they were really close together. It was like
blurring together.
Yeah, and I can't separate the two. It's like one of them was Converge and BTBAM, and the other was Cephalic Carnage and you guys. And
that's exactly like BTBAM was on both. That's where the blur comes in.
Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, BTBAM did Converge right before they did our headlining Miasma tour.
Okay, so that was, it was BTBAM, Converge, and Into the Moat. And then, right? Or was Into the Moat on your guys'
tour? Okay. Our tour was Into the Moat, Cephalic, Carnage.
Okay, all right. Because I get those two shows like they're one show to me.
Then us. Yeah, they must have been like, like a month apart or something.
Yeah, because I went to both those shows around the same time. I mean, I was probably like, I don't know, 17, 18, something like that.
I do that same thing too, where I've just been to the same venue so many times or something, where I'm like Frankensteining these memories to get,
Totally. And I always think of that as one show. I'm like, yeah, it was BDM, Into the Moat.
Oh, I'm just waiting for my tour with Converge phone call, like any second.
Dude, Animosity
you
did it.
You guys have never toured
Animosity
with Converge?
did it, man, and it was the sickest thing ever.
Like, only for like a week on Sounds of the Underground, or 10 days they were on it. And we played a couple shows in Europe randomly with them, But we tried to take them out a bunch of times. We've had them in like the blueprints of lineups. At least gotten the first yes from like a manager or maybe someone who has no fucking idea what's going on. But, I felt like we've been close before to doing it.
Yeah, I actually went to that Sounds of the Underground with Converge and you guys. Animosity had like a day off and we went to the show. It was like on the East Coast. So
that was a hell of a bill, man.
Yeah, it was like Cannibal was on it too.
Oh,
like
fuck.
Cannibal.
In Flames. It was fucking ridiculous, dude.
Guar,
dude, what?
Terror.
How much was the ticket to get into that shit? It would be like $100 nowadays.
I don't know. I don't remember at all, honestly. As of like Dying was the headliner.
Yep.
Like at their like super height,
And then Through the Eyes of the Dead was on it.
Yep.
I actually heard rumors like 2 years ago about them potentially bringing back Sounds of the Underground, but I guess it never
now they're definitely
panned out. Yeah.
So too. Dude, it was so much fun. We did that in our fucking van, which meant that we were trapped outside 24 hours a day, every day for a month.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We got drunk and loved every second of it, honestly.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, if you told me I was going to do that now, I'd rather like walk the plank.
You guys did Warped Tour in a van too, right?
No, we were in a bus, and dude, I would not be here today if we were in a van.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard Warped Tour in a van is like the most fucked up situation of.
Dude, it's fucked up in a bus. So like,
Oh, wow.
I cannot even imagine.
Someone did it in a van
nowhere to
that I know. I can't remember who it was. There's a band that I know that did it in a van.
I remember who you're talking about, and they were just talking about how fucking hot it was every
like
day.
Oh, dude, it's so hot. Like your shoes don't want to be on the blacktop. So like being stuck outside full time between the fucking sky and the blacktop, dude. Fuck that. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we did Summer Slaughter. I think that was the last. I was trying to think of the last time that we hung out, and I think it was Summer Slaughter in New York.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
yes.
saw you guys.
But
So
we
you're-
did that in a bus. But in a van, and we were just fucking.
I mean,
was having
we
the
were
time of my
drunk
life.
all
Yeah.
day, every day. Just
I was having a great
Yeah,
time.
that's kind of what you got to do that kind of shit when you're young. Like you're more resilient when you're young. You know what I mean? Like you can party more and you can also take more abuse. Like being in the van and doing stupid shit like that, 18-hour drives, and
Yeah,
so,
that's something that
do you feel like you guys will do more tours in a van? Because I know that you guys are like notoriously.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I look forward to that more than being in a bus. Honestly, I miss that the most. I miss our van, no seats in the back, 2 futon mattresses, and there's 5 people in the front, or 2 people in the front, 5 in the back, laying like fucking sardines.
Right.
And those are the most fun tours.
Dude, it's so true. You're like all up in each other's shit. And on a bus, it's like
on the bus you can isolate yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
But like when you're in the van together and there's like the group think is at this big height, like the force is there. Like
it's so true.
When everything's all going well, you're laughing your asses off, you're kicking ass on tour, you're playing good every night. It's a fucking blast, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And so like I miss that. I miss like the choose your own adventure aspect of actually driving yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like where you're like, all right, let's GPS something weird and go. Eat something weird or like
being
or
on,
hit
being
a drive-through.
Yeah, it's like being on a bus.
There's so many perks that people don't realize. Like
it's so true.
Like being on a bus is cool. I've done a couple.
But it's way more of like just a traveling hotel. It's just
it's expensive. It's expensive, dude.
It's expensive.
It's crazy expensive.
It's expensive, and like we've always been that kind of modest band. You know what I mean? Like where we're done. There's still a headliner, and we're turning around on stage and packing our shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't have a bunch of techs. The guys would love to have techs. You kidding me? Especially the Alan.
Especially Alan, yeah.
Like, but it's just how we are. Like, that was a page we took from Converge.
Yeah.
Keep everything in-house.
Yep.
Do it your fucking self. Don't be a pussy about it.
Yeah.
You're still Converge whether you're pushing your own amp or not.
Yeah,
it's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like
BT Bam 2 is like that for sure. Like,
in a way, it was kind of like a fuck you. Like, be like, yeah, we do our own shit. It's like we're not out here getting fluffed.
Well, also, you're not paying a bunch of extra money to have all of those hands around. It's like some bands will roll out on tour and they just spend so much fucking money on tour that I am like, there's no way that these people have like a good home life.
Some of them don't. Some of them come back with fucking peanuts.
Yeah. Right.
And they just paid for the look.
I know.
Honestly, like, smoke and mirrors and like, there's aspects you can use of that to your advantage, but like it's not fucking everything. You know what I mean?
It's
and totally
really
like
not.
looking at like at the end of the tour, when I became a Ferentios, like I kind of became the guy who's in charge of the money, and it's like
the Brian of the band. You're Brian.
So like at the end of tour, you look at it and you're like, dude, the money is so tight that like if we had have just not spent X amount over here, everyone would be getting $1,000 more. You know what I mean? Like it really, like
dude,
at the end of tour, those little decimals here and there really add up. So it's like, oh, if we just didn't rent that thing, or if we just didn't do this, we would have been like, I'd have $1,000 in my pocket.
Right.
And that's, I mean, like times that with the bus and all that stuff. Like I'm more of a modest person myself too, and I've seen bands that, for instance, like Whitechapel, it's like they take a bus, but dude, they don't have any techs. They have like
Oh,
a
they
sound
just
guy,
have sound guy
and a merch guy.
Merch
That's
TM.
it. And like, they're just loading in. It's like, what the fuck else are you gonna do, man? You know,
I know.
like,
It's like there's nothing to do in most places. Let's just load our shit.
I get
in.
it makes sense if you're so busy. You need to do so many interviews a day or whatever. Like it doesn't make sense anymore for you to be loading your gear. But if you're not doing that, then I mean, let's just go ahead and load the gear.
Go ahead and push some amps.
Yeah, I like doing
No
that
shit.
stuff. I mean, I like doing that stuff. You know, that's my shit, dude.
I enjoy the synchronicity of the entire band doing those things together.
Totally.
And like how good we are at it. Like there's a certain pride in that too. Like
100%, dude.
Like we can fucking unsheath all our shit and set up so fucking fast if we need to, you know, and pack up and get the fuck out just as quick. And you got to have pride in work to be in a band, basically.
Totally.
I agree.
You know, like you can't go out half-assing, man.
So when you guys are like, when you've brought new members into the band, is that like, how do you approach that? Because I feel like you've become very good at it to the point that it's fucking seamless when you guys have.
It's a science. It's a real science. And, you know, part of it is, it's really just, it's about personality. It's about friendship. It's about compatibility with the band's overall vibe, to be like sort of extroverted a little bit.
Yeah.
To kind of have this group think like, they don't have to be fucking comedians necessarily, but like to be, at least be on the same page with that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
So what's the process to go through that? Because I know like we were on Ryan Knight's last tour with you and Brandon was there. So is that a thing that you've done before where it's like we bring a guy on tour and just like make sure that he fits in?
No, that was the first time that we'd like vetted someone like that thoroughly, really.
Oh yeah.
And the first time we like brought them out on tour for that kind of litmus test, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To like just see what they're like to be around at length and in discomfort.
Yeah,
and
because it changes.
You know,
it changes when you get on tour.
It does. Oh yeah,
like,
you know. There's tons of people that talk a big game. There's tons of people on YouTube that can shred.
Right.
But like, can they play in a band? Maybe not. Can they be in a band?
Yeah.
In the give and take and like be in that democracy and work with it. That is a big question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
or even play live. Like, you know, at this point we're talking about, can they play live? You know,
yeah.
like
How much have their videos been edited?
We've seen, all these people can make a sick video.
So
it's like, dude, can you
out there now
rip a stage? That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, and dude, and just being able to play with people and like write music and like not like put your pride between you and like creating something awesome with other people.
Right.
You know, like
that's
because
huge.
people will approach it in the way that it's like they come into a band and it's more like a solo project for them where they're trying to like overwrite. But a part of being in a band is everyone coming together, and it's not necessarily the sound that this person would want or that person would want in a solo project. It's about what is the band together as like a group.
Right. In a way, it's a compromise. It's a compromise of, you know, people's influences, of like ideas. But yeah, you know, it's all about having the right people, man. Like it really is. Like I wouldn't tour with just a hired gun in the band.
Yeah.
Like I have, you know, like I have to like these people. We're with them so much.
Dude,
we
so
endure
true.
so much with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So much hardship that people don't fucking realize, like being on tour. You need to have a positive like network around you, basically. Like that's the beginning of the whole thing. If you don't have that, the rest is just going to suck even worse, you know. But like,
absolutely.
It's important, dude. So really, like, the personality is just as important as the skills, honestly.
Yep.
So, you know, we just found like Brandon, his story is so fucking unique and weird. Like he has never played in a local band.
Whoa. What? That's like insane to me. Whoa.
He sidestepped that entire thing. Like he basically was like, you know, real introverted guy in school, like all he cared about was guitar. He just kind of like kept his head down, was real quiet. Like he still is very soft spoken.
Dude, he's a quiet guy. Yeah.
Quiet guy.
Unless you like really get him talking. And I'm that type of person, like I got to get you talking. And then he's like awesome, but he's a very quiet guy right off the bat.
Yeah, he's a very mild kind of dude. Like he fucking talks with his hands, he talks with his music, you know, and where the fuck was I even going with this?
His story. Yeah, he didn't have to endure the local band.
So he taught himself how to play guitar. He's never had a lesson. Like he taught himself how to play, like using the internet resources, you know, and he knew like at that point that like he wanted to be a pro musician. And I forget how he got his first gig, but I want to say it's like related to this power metal band called Pyramaze. That's like out from like Jersey or something, I guess. All right. And then he ended up with gigs like filling in for like Fin Troll. He had to wear elf ears and like be bare chested on stage and like do a jig and stuff.
Oh, fuck.
And like then he got like the gig with Silosis filling in, and like he segued into being a pro.
Yeah.
Like he really did. Like he sidestepped all of the delusional bullshit of like being an idiot pay to play band or like any, you know what I mean? Like all the stupid
shit.
What a
lucky asshole, like, dude.
Yeah,
fuck that.
That's the way to do
genius.
It.
Fuck him. Fuck him, but seriously is a genius. I mean, come on.
That's the way to do it, dude. Just like,
I feel like that about him like about 99% of the time, honestly. like I hate him. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
And he's such a like musical genius and shit. Like, and he's like reinvented the way we look at the band, and like he's brought so much to light in terms of songwriting mechanics and the ins and outs of music, and he's so educated, you know.
Yeah.
That like we're learning a lot from each other. Like it's insane to be this established and bring someone in and trust them with so much of the band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's being like he wrote a little bit more of the record than Brian did.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
And like he got the honor of being the first song on the record, you know, because he just dropped the most badass opening sounding song, you know, like we were like, here you go. You got the slot.
That's good, man.
So, you know, we've like put so much trust in him. And, you know, like him being the producer guy in the band now, in a way, like he tracked all of us for the record except for the drums.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? At his place. So we had established more control of Verminous than any other BDM record. Like we took our time with the fine details and, you know, tricking out little melodies afterwards, and just, you know, like there was a lot of like tooling with stuff, and to a level that we never had before. And so
before, were you guys like more of like, here's the riff, it is what it is, no matter what anyone's suggestion would be?
We didn't really even like open the dialogue for suggestion. Like we have given people credit for producing because I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seriously.
Totally.
And like we've never been produced by like, even to the extent that Brandon did it, I wouldn't say like we went to Kurt Ballou. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like having another party come in and sit in on your writing and sit in on your sessions and like, you know, like do this longer, or, you know, like do this to the harmony, or, you know, like we've never, we're so anal about what we do.
Yeah.
That like when we come in to record, the record is 100% thought out. Yeah. There's not a note that's not there yet. Honestly, like we'll trick some shit out later on, but like it's just how we are. Like there's no writing in the studio for this band. There's no
improvising.
No, and like the way that, I mean, there is to some level, you know, in Brandon's case especially, like improvising and stuff, and like, but really, I mean, we start with these Pro Tools demos, and we use those as the scratch tracks for the drummer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he'll track, and you know, technically it's to a click because the guitars on the demo were done to a click.
Yeah.
But then we're not gridding them out. anymore.
Yeah.
That's like long gone. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Like there's no fucking point on stealing the personality from a great drummer like that.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
incredible.
dumbest thing that we've all done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a problem.
As
Drums have become this, to some extent, this homogenized thing that's like, dude, I want to hear the drummer. Like, I really like
me too.
drums.
I think especially in the metalcore lane and in the kind of anything offshooting gent and stuff, like there's so much.
It's canned. It's all canned.
Yeah.
Right.
That's honestly what I'm loving about the whole, like, the black metal and the kind of underground,
it's
brutal death
refreshing
metal.
to your
It's like,
ears, right?
damn, dude, like that snare is like not perfect. It's like it sounds kind of shitty.
Like shit.
Yeah, it's like sick, dude. You know, like
I love that.
I do too.
Like the world of plastic music and like the modern face of heavy music like pushed me further in that direction of liking more raw shit, more live shit, more imperfect shit.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where we had this meeting and we're like, what is so great about albums before 2000? What is the X factor? Why are they classic? And, you know, like, what is it? Mm-hmm. And it was that. Like, there is no personality with a lot of albums coming out. Totally. They have the same samples as everyone else.
I mean, it's in drums, but it's also in other things, because I even noticed this with vocals. Like, you know, there are a ton of ways to learn vocals on the internet, but they're teaching people to do like the same exact vocal. And one of my favorite things in vocalists is is uniqueness, being able to tell one voice from the other. It's like, dude, doing like super low lows and super high highs, that's really cool. But at a point when it becomes so homogenized that I can't tell any band apart, it's a disservice to music. I
feel like that, you know, like the Pro Tools era has its pros and cons, you know, like giving bands freedom to make shit at home is awesome, but it opened the lane up. There's no quality control.
Yeah.
Any band with Pro Tools can drop a metalcore single. You know what I mean? Like, and they do.
They all do. And they've all got like the neon colored music video to go along, and like it's all the same color and all the same thing.
10 guest vocalists from other exactly similar bands.
I know, you cannot tell them apart from it's a mess.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like one of the things was being kind of in your own lane, kind of doing your own thing. And it's like, wow, that's really sick. And you didn't, like, you would take influence from them, but you didn't make a genre out of the band, you know?
Yeah, whereas now I feel like people, like, whatever is popular, there are 1,000 bands behind that are just, they sound exactly like that. And some of them get popular and stuff. But back in the day, bands sounded different. Even all of the bands that you could classify as being like deathcore or whatever else, like Animosity sounds a lot different than like Despised Icon. And, you know, it was a different thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing that I always think about was like, we didn't think there was any money or fans to be gained. You know, like Dying Fetus was my favorite band, and I saw them at the Pound on Destroy the Opposition tour, and there was like, 30 people there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, I was just like, there's no way anyone's ever going to like this, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. What difference does it make?
Oh, that's the best part. That's the most liberating part. Yeah. Is doing what you want, and you're not doing it for anyone else or any other reason. Yeah. Rather than to please yourself. And like, for me, it's like seeing this dream that I had just out of high school, like, come to a point where it is so far past what I had expected or hoped.
Yeah,
I know.
Like now I'm just perpetuating this life that I
totally
so much. You know what I mean?
Whereas now I feel like a lot of bands, they see like, I'm just going to throw Periphery out there because they've like been successful in the last 10 years and have made money and stuff. And I feel like people see bands like that and they're like, I can make money. I want to like start this band to make money. And they have like a gimmick and a marketing strategy and all of this shit planned out from the beginning.
Or like an idea of a certain music formula that they think is going to be like palatable to people.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's like,
that's a whole different side of music I don't want shit to do with.
I know,
honestly.
me too. It's like, dude, I got into this because I was like, fuck the world. Like, I'm gonna just, you know, I remember my mom always tells me this. She's like, yeah, I remember when you were a kid, you were like, yeah, don't worry, Mom, I'm not ever gonna make any money doing this. So just, that's not why I do it.
Just bear with me. And I'm gonna have fun.
Like I'm just doing it because I love it, and that's like, honestly, still to this day, like that's how I'll draw inspiration. You know, it's like, why did I do this? I obviously didn't do it for money.
It's one of the things that people see the most, and that you can't fake. Like, if you're passionate about your music, like it comes across.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You know, like it's almost tangible to fans. You know, like if you
100%.
like are doing it right. You know, so. You know, I don't know. I've seen tons of bands come and go. I've seen tons of like, you can learn a lot about what not to do.
I agree.
I bet.
Just observing bands as much as you learn what to do.
It's so true. Totally. I mean, even in the 6 years of us being in a band, we've outlasted bands that started right around the same time. It's crazy to see that stuff happen because there are bands who catch so much hype at the beginning and you're like, okay, this band's like their career, they got it going on. And then they're broken up 3 years later.
Like, because it didn't turn into the thing that like
that they wanted it
or whatever.
to.
It's like,
I mean,
dude,
there can be a too much too fast. You know,
totally
where
agree.
People get embittered by your like meteoric rise, and then all of a sudden you go from like the hot thing to like memes. You know.
Yeah.
Totally.
So when you were saying like, I don't know, like an hour ago or something, you got rejected by 28 labels. And Metal Blade was one of them who was like down for you guys.
Yeah, the other one was Willowtip. We had a Willowtip contract in our hands. We were like kind of negotiating back and forth with Jason Tipton. And,
Is
that really his name?
Willow Tipton?
Is that really his name?
Willow Tipton.
His name is Jason Willow Tipton.
No, yeah, I guess, right? But yeah, he was a little pissed at us for a few years. I understand.
Yeah.
But when Metal Blade called, it was so far out after all the other labels had already said no that like we were not expecting to hear any more from any other labels.
Yeah.
And we thought it was a joke. Mike Faley called.
Oh fuck.
And you know who Slagle is because Slagle's like in the magazines and shit. But
right.
I don't think the average kid knows who Faley is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He's not Slagle.
Yeah.
So like the first couple phone calls were met with like, you know, real skepticism. Like it sounded too good to be true.
Yeah.
But then, you know, we really talked to him. We agreed to work together. And me and Brian got drunk at my mom's house, and he peed my mom's sectional couch upstairs.
And that's how we knew it was good to go.
That's how we sealed the deal and christened the battleship.
So do you think you'll be with Metal Blade for the rest of the band's career?
I think that we have a really special bond with them.
Yeah.
I think that we've been extremely lucky to have resonated so hard with them from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's like this rumored quote from Slagle that like, you know, we're one of the most important things since Cannibal Corpse that he like brought to the world, you know, like that is like such a huge compliment.
Yeah,
such a huge,
right.
That's over Goo Goo Dolls, by the way.
That's
over a Goo-Goo.
Okay, well, that's what he says when he wants to be cool. But
that's what he says. That's what he says while you're signing the contract.
Yeah, he's like, still stoked on the Goo Goo Dolls. All right, so I won't fool you.
Yeah,
but we just been so family with them. Like when we came in, we were very young, and the staff that was helping us, our publicists, all the were all young too, and we just like befriended them. And every time in Cali, we were sleeping at the Metal Blade girls' houses and stuff, and raging out with them, and like it's just always been family, man. You know, so I feel like they're part of our DNA. Honestly, like it's just how it is, you know. And we're very fortunate to have always been given so much gas from them, you know, like so much faith and like. they've never tried to meddle. They've never, they trusted that we had a vision and that we were, you know, fucking serious about it. And, you know, they saw our mission statement in that bio I sent along with the demo saying like, yo, we're going to take over. So be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you have to be.
I mean?
Man.
Like,
that's how you have to be.
We're like, we need a van to hit the ground running. And that's the only damn thing stopping us. And we need someone to hear this music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had the drive and we presented that, you know, like for sure. And so, yeah, it's amazing to even have that legacy of being signed off a demo that hit Metal Blade's mailbox. And you know what I mean? Like they could have not listened to it. They could have thrown it in the trash. So like, it's just very, you know, this whole thing has just been this snowball of victories. Honestly, there's been, you know, hard times, but we've had it so good compared to a lot of bands we've made. It's all about choices, dude. It's all about reacting to what happens and being smart. And you know, like sometimes you gotta put your fucking pride aside. Like I said, you know, like people think this band is a like a deathcore band. You know, that's not my steez really, but like we'll go play with those bands to please those people,
dude. Totally. And who cares what they're calling you?
Who gives
Doesn't
a
fucking
fuck?
matter at all.
Who gives a fuck? Learning that was important, honestly. It really was. And, you know, like, so like, I don't have, you know, like any major regrets about anything that we've done. You know, there's certain situations we handled better than others, you know, and like,
that's what growing is about, man. That's what like getting older is about. You guys I mean, how old were you? Like 19 when you started the band? 18?
I was, I think maybe 20. I was the oldest at first, and I am again now. But we've had other people come in that were older. Bart was older, just about a year.
Okay.
Pierre, that did so too with us on drums. He was a little bit older. But
you were young when this band started. You were very young.
Not like, you know, Animosity in high school.
Yeah.
You know, like the bands I was in high school were like me on guitar, first of all, mistake. Why,
you don't have the steez to be a guitar player or what?
I wouldn't even say that in a sentence. But yeah, I touched guitars and sounds came out for a while, and that was like my angle.
You still play guitar at all, or no? No guitar?
No, I really put it down when I met Black Dahlia Murder. Like they were younger than me.
You're like, they got
and
this.
Like even then they were so much better than me. Like I never got educated. Like I never, like I wanted all the fun stuff of being in a band. Yeah. You know, and not,
you wanted the girls and the beer and the drug.
Just like, you know, making flyers and like shit like that. Like the DIY fun stuff for me. Like, you know, like,
for sure.
Like we had every aspect of being in a band right when I was in high school except talent. You know what I mean? Like we were serious, we practiced a lot, we were dedicated, we were like, but we, you know, like just weren't good. And so when I heard BDM, I thought, wow, like even in their infancy, like these kids can outplay anybody I fucking know.
So you like joined technically?
Yeah, like I didn't know them.
Okay.
They're not like my friends from home. Like I don't know them. You know what I mean?
How did you guys meet each other?
I saw Brian. He was from a couple towns over. Okay. And I would see him at hardcore shows. And we were in the Dork crew. Like there were all these cool bands with like they were handsome and had flat tops and were straight edge and got chicks and stuff and like were the like cool scene dudes.
For sure.
And we were like the nerds at the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. And even like in the infancy of BDM, like we weren't taken seriously by any of those bands around here or whatever. And like we thought, well, we just got to leave and like become a real band. And who cares about being a local band? Was the thought after a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who got signed for being a local band?
Yeah.
No one.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Like we sold the most tickets to the Ghost show, man. You know, like we're going all the way.
Yeah. Wait, so you say go ahead.
fuck, I kind of forgot where I was even at.
So you met Brian.
Okay,
yeah, and you're in the nerds
so
at
I was
the show.
playing in this shot-ass metalcore band that was like inspired by like Disembodied, Morning Again.
Fuck
So you like Martyr AD then too?
That wasn't out yet.
Yeah,
but I do.
Well, if it's Disembodied era.
I fucking love Martyr AD. See, I'm 32, so I'm a little younger than you guys, and I like, that era was my shit.
That was sick. That was a great band too.
Yeah,
and,
I love them.
The whole family tree of like Disembodied bands was cool. Devil Inside was cool. We toured with them. Name maybe not so great, but it reminds me of that sticker you get at Spencer's and put on your computer.
Oh yeah.
Hell inside, but devil inside.
It's like evil inside. Totally.
Yeah, evil inside, bro.
Yeah.
Evil.
Anyway, so Brian was a fellow nerd in the scene.
Yeah.
And at one of our shows, he was moshing, and there was this message board where like everybody kind of gathered from the hardcore scene and like the metalcore scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd know each other from there, but not really know each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the scene was so small.
Right.
So you'd know who Brian was maybe without knowing him.
Absolutely.
But once he moshed to my band, I was like, all right, this guy's my friend.
Totally, dude.
That was cool.
If you mosh to my band, we're fucking boys. It's
You're
like,
all right with my book,
I
so.
like this guy, even if he was an asshole before he moshed to my band. It's like I don't care.
So he like got in some like ugly breakup with some chick and was bummed the fuck out and was like posting about it on this board, right? And I hit him up on AIM and some shit and started talking to him, was like, hey man, whatever, fuck that shit, blah blah blah. And he's like, dude, I'm putting together this new band. Do you know anybody that would want to sing? And at that time I had just been playing guitar, but I had also been anally controlling the vocals and the lyrics and shit of the band anyway.
Okay.
So like I was still like flexing those chops while I was playing guitar. And so I was like, well, I don't think I have the voice for it, but maybe I can get there in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I sat I wrote the song like listening to like fucking Winamp and writing the lyrics into like a word processor.
Sick. Yeah.
And I don't use Winamp anymore, but I still basically do the same fucking thing and write our songs the exact way I wrote the first song.
Wow.
It's just like sitting at the computer, listening to it a zillion fucking times, and just to take the plunge. And so like I did a good job of patterning the stuff. Like once I came and sang it the first time, like having remembered all the parts and stuff, and like the voice just came out then. Like I needed to come out at that moment, and it did. Like I'd screamed prior, but it was more of a like
just going for
different kind of scream. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was so like at that moment they like I could tell they were gonna ask me to join the band. Like
I just
while we were
nailed
playing
it.
that song.
Yeah.
Like because it sounded like a real band,
right?
And I had written the lyrics, and they were decent, and I knew them, and we just like put the quarter in the machine, and the band came to life.
Wow!
And I could just see it in their eyes, like they like me better than this other guy who I was like neck and neck with. Who
it's like falling in love.
I think had a better voice than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like at the time, like he was like this legendary, he was a friend, but we were also in very like competitive, like, like amongst the nerd bands of the scene.
Yeah. Right.
So I thought, man, they're going to give the job to this kid because his voice is so like blood curdling, but I came and they liked the patterns. They liked what I wrote and it fit together. And we played the song like 6 times or something. And they're like, hey, there's a show going on. Do you want to go down at Mr. Muggs where, Brian moshed to my band and like where you'd see any local band basically.
Totally.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go. So I went down to the show with them. It was Circle of Dead Children. And get this, fucking Poison the Well hopped on the show.
Damn.
Out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Like at their absolute like breaking point, like opposite of December, like, so what a cool ass diverse bill.
Yeah. That's sick.
To be asked to join the Black Dahlia Murder at, you know? So like in the middle of the show, they're like, yo, man, we go talk for a minute over here. And, you know, they're like, so do you want to be in the band or what? And I was like,
yep.
Yeah, I really do.
That's so awesome, man.
I really do. Wait,
but, I remember like that car trip there, like listening to the first Haunted record and showing that to Brian. And
wow.
It was such a like we were so excited about finding all this music then. I still am, you know, but like that was fueling the band, you know, like when you see a young band trying a sound, they're new to it.
Yeah.
They're not like grizzled veterans.
Right.
They're excited to try something new to them. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So like, yeah, I don't even know where the fuck I'm going with this, you know?
Wait, so are you and Brian, are you guys from like the skirts of Michigan, or are you from Detroit proper?
We're from like the suburbs, like fucking very standard Midwestern suburban experience.
Well, so now you live in the city, right? New York City.
Yeah, I live in Brooklyn.
So do you like it?
I do. It's a lot. It was an experience to like kind of evolve to being here.
I bet, man.
Living in a 100-year-old building with, you know, fucking window AC units, no washing machines.
Yeah. I know.
Dust balls. Like this building I live in has hundreds of years of human dust accumulated in it.
Fucking
like
bet, man.
you cannot clean this place. Like you can, you turn around, it is dusty.
Are you in that same apartment that Rochelle was in like years ago?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we've been there.
She's been here for like 8 years now.
Yeah,
we've
totally
that was
been
like
there.
around the corner from Leo's.
Yeah, Leo lives right by you.
Yeah, Leo lives right by here, dude. He does. I've seen him in my travels a couple of times.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, we need some plans to like hook up and go drinking and stuff, but obviously that's off the table now.
Yeah,
that's actually one of the things I think about frequently. I'm like, wow, Trevor's like in New York. That's
dude, that's weird.
Like,
I mean,
that's been pretty tough.
It's like, dude, I'm from Des Moines, and just moving to New York on its own, it's like sounds awful to me in the first place, but during a pandemic,
I don't know. It seems like it hits.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a pandemic when I moved here. I've been out here for three years now. You know, so I definitely wouldn't have come out here in a fucking pandemic. You know, but Rochelle just made it so easy for me. That like I couldn't say no. Like the stars were so aligned that even if I wanted to be the pussy neurotic dude I normally am about this kind of shit, like. It was too easy to say no. It was too good to be true. So I sold my fucking condo. I made a ton of money on it, honestly.
Awesome.
Damn.
And like that is kind of like padding my plague experience.
Oh, really?
I had some money in the bank. You know what I mean? From like selling the condo.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I wonder that about like for the mid to small bands, they always have like their side job and stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. Like for us and everything, we have like a home.
For me, it's
but for
just
you guys, it's like you guys are doing the band full fucking time. So not going on tour means like I'm not getting a paycheck, you know. And
right.
Like,
so yeah, like I said, man, there's no saying no in this band. So if there's an opportunity to be taken a tour, like you're on it pretty much.
Right.
Like so yeah, like you know, some of the guys are we're all trying to like generate funds in different ways. Like I kind of have it the easiest by being the most visible guy in the band this entire time.
Yeah,
like
totally. That's the thing. It works
C-level
out.
celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can segue it into Twitch and I can segue it into like doing cameos, which has been pretty good for me.
Right.
You know, and like, Brian is selling weed. Brian needs structure. Like he needs something to do every fucking day. He's such a workhorse. If he doesn't have a project, he's lost.
Yeah.
So he's delivering weed. He's loving that.
Oh yeah, I saw him doing that. That's a good.
That's right in Brian's lane. Are you kidding me?
So well, yeah, I know. Is weed
perfect,
dude? Is it recreational in Michigan now? Yeah.
Oh, yes,
fuck.
ma'am.
Man, I love this
so
just
sick.
wave of weed that's sweeping the
dude,
nation.
I can't believe that we're living in the middle of this, man.
I know.
I
never
know.
thought
If the world weren't burning around the top of that, I'd celebrate it a bit more.
Well, so when you say that you're stopping drinking, are you going to stop smoking weed as well?
Oh no!
Yeah, you're going the old.
Gotta have some escapism.
Dude, I know. You got to go the old weed edge.
I gotta be able to change my mind a little bit from one feeling to another. You know? Like, there has to be some end of the day escape from tour. There has to be like a moment where we close the bus door to the world, and I'm in my pajama pants, and I can rip that bowl and just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. So, like, I mean, I'm not harsh on anybody else's fucking whatever anybody does, but dude, like, I cannot drink and be in control of it. This is basically the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
Like, I can, to an extent, skirt by and do my job how I'm supposed to do it. You know what I mean? But like, there is a factor of like, shit could go wrong because I was trashed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I am jeopardizing this whole thing with my health, with,
totally,
you know, like longevity and stuff. Like, I don't want to be that like pickled guy from Wasp or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and like at 40 and living off gas station food for the last 20 years now,
it's not
like
good.
it's time to start making some good choices and like force myself to grow up a little bit.
So are you going that way in the diet realm as well?
I have been, and like getting the hernia was a big like slip back because I couldn't work out all of a sudden.
Right.
And like now I'm like 5 weeks, 6 weeks without working out. And it's, you know, my muffin top like came, it's back.
Oh, dude, I know. Yeah.
But,
It
like,
takes like years to get rid of, and like 2 to 3 weeks to get back. It's like the most fucked up thing ever.
Dude. Like my silhouette changed in that time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's the least like rewarding thing in that way. It's like, yeah,
it
it's
totally
sick.
Is.
I'm like completely 100%. I watch what I eat. Like not right now, but if you do that, I'm watching what I eat all the time. I'm working out for every single day, like an hour at least, right? And then to lose it takes like 1 week. You know, it's just so
Eating
weird.
Chinese
It's the
food for a
weirdest
week
fucking thing, man. To like,
dude, for me, change is so difficult.
Yeah.
I
I
am
agree.
such a creature of habit, especially on tour. Yeah. I always make these plans to like be healthier, to like work out, to like take that aspect seriously, and then I get back into the tour and just fall right into like my stupid shitty ass program of just like, you know, being an idiot.
Well, dude,
so,
it's also so easy too, because if it's like being in a relationship, if the other person isn't choosing to like do the diet thing, it's harder. But if you're in a fucking band and people aren't choosing to do it, or they don't want to be on the side.
If I'm in a band where me, Brian, and Alan get fucking lit, and it's part of our ritual going into a show, we call it sipping time.
So you have a name for it.
Because we're not sipping. There's no, you know, like, it's not a tea party. It's full of excess. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, so, and sipping time, like, I block out an hour before we go on stage to start drinking.
Really?
The clock. By which I start drinking, because otherwise I'll take it too far. You know what I mean? Like, it's an art form, a shitty art form that like you just keep doing. You fall into it, and like, you know, being surrounded by other people doing the same thing. It's like you have there's a camaraderie in it, you know.
Totally.
In a weird way.
Totally.
Of course,
it
you know,
fucking intensifies the whole thing. And
so, you know, like an hour before we play, Van Halen's coming on or some funk shit or something.
Oh no!
The bottles get cracked.
No!
We start dancing. We start joking around. Like, I still want that aspect. I still want to have, like, we sort of rally before we play. We don't like consciously put our hands in the middle and do like a fucking, you know, a war cry or something. But I've seen bands do that, and I respect that too. But like, it's just about connecting before we play, like laughing, like being on the same page, being excited together, and like the vibe starts there.
Oh, totally,
definitely. And it comes up, and you know, I mean, obviously you're getting hyped up to do what you're talking about, and like just from my perspective, like I've done tours where I'm kind of sober and not, and it's like it's for me personally, like after I did the tours where I was like, you know, just staying strong and like, you know, working out and like I'm like, all right, there's pizza backstage, like I'm not gonna even fucking eat it, you know, fuck that. Like, but now I'm kind of at a point where it's like I know I can do that, so I'm like, you know, I could go back there, so I'm gonna have some beers and some pizza.
Yeah, you know, there can be some give and take.
Yeah,
yeah, totally,
definitely. Because the hardcore thing.
Fuck, I remember seeing you at the absolute height of that shit, and like you basically shouldn't even have wore clothes. You looked so fucking good.
I look back on it and I'm like, dude, the thing about that that's really weird is like I remember like getting super jacked and fit and stuff. And I remember like I took like a selfie at the gym, you know, and I remember looking at it and being like, all right, I'm not going to do this anymore. Because I was just like, yeah.
I remember taking
like you just ticked that box off.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm not going to get,
you know
without like doing steroids, I'm not going to get more jacked than this. So I'm just like, I did it. That was sick. I'm going to go have a beer and a pizza with
Dude,
Jade.
and once you have the 6-pack, it's like, cool, I have a 6-pack.
Yeah, like then
and people talk about it for about 5 minutes, and then it's like, all right, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't the
all
point.
you really need is a picture of you with the 6-pack.
Exactly.
I got the picture.
Exactly. We have.
And then you can
pictures.
confuse people forever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like dude, like so I did that. We did this one tour, the one with Rivers of Nile.
Yeah.
And it's like to all the people on that tour, we're known as like
sober.
the strict fucking like workout.
Yeah.
And like no matter what I do, no matter what I do
Dude,
now,
militant. Yeah.
no matter what I do now, I'm known as that.
Yeah, to
You know?
those guys.
It's kind of funny.
Which is not really how we are at
No,
all. It's
I'm
like the
now
tours
just-
before that, we were like doing poppers in Europe and fucking just getting wasted every night.
dude,
and, you know?
the story of poppers and BDM is me and Max. Like I didn't even know what the fuck they were.
Me neither. Me neither.
Like
I did
what the
because
fuck
I'm
is a
friends with a
popper?
lot of they're popular in like gay clubs and stuff, and I've been like
Right.
I've been at those since I was old enough to go to the bar. That's where I've hung out. So you know,
This is where the punchline of my story comes in.
Yeah.
Was, Max and I going from like merch tent to merch tent and like vendor to vendor at wasn't Download Fest. What's the other like giant one in the UK?
I'm just thinking of the fucking.
It's not important anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So we're going like person to person, like, where's the poppers at? You know, and Max is like this big bag dude, and like I'm like probably his boyfriend to these guys. You know what I mean? Like not realizing like the drug has a context usually to
Dude,
people, you know.
always.
So wait, was that because you had already done it and you wanted to do it again, or because you just wanted to
No,
try it?
I still haven't done it. Like, we never scored our poppers that day, man.
Oh damn!
I didn't know that like it gets you jacked and cool with opening your butt. Like,
Honestly.
no, seriously, like it really does. like,
No, totally. We were on an entire tour package of people doing poppers all the time, and it was like, you know.
It's
but
the best drug
It
I've
did
ever
evolve.
tried.
There was this thing called the Book of Knowledge, and you take poppers and you pour them into a cup of soda, and you put a book on top of it, and you just like wait for all the fumes to like build
It like
up.
builds it like
And then-
dude,
It sends it up,
Yeah.
and then exactly. You take the book off and you pass it around, and everyone is like in fucking outer space for a good
it's
10
like,
minutes.
You have like this, and you just like slide the book out, you know,
and
you're
the
just, like,
fumes come out.
and you smell, and it's dude, you're like
And then the whole room is like,
no, you're a different person. You like you start screaming
And
like
laughing.
it's really fucking crazy.
And I'm
Like,
talking
it
about
is-
a
I've
whole
never done
buzz.
any of the fun drugs where you like really freak out.
like you freak out, you start screaming. You rip your shirt off. You're just like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I won't never do it again. Straight
Yeah,
up,
same.
but it's fucking sick.
Dude, but it was to the point, it was like kind of like fucked up to a point we were playing, I think we played London one night, and we had some friends who weren't on the tour package come in
Oh, yeah,
to
we're
the
like,
bus
dude.
while we were all doing
Yeah.
like, dude, no joke. We had like a carton of poppers. That's how
Yeah,
much
it was crazy.
was coming
You
around
must
at the
have
time.
scared some people. I'm
No,
sure.
we
yeah.
scared
Oh, yeah.
them.
Oh, yeah,
We
definitely,
scared them. It was really fucked up,
Like,
and
oh, yeah,
that's
these
what
guys are around fucking 13 right now.
yeah.
it was
crazy.
fucked. It was like a bunch of high school kids discovering like
Smoking salvia.
Yeah,
salvia
yeah,
or Coricidin cold
I mean,
cough.
that tour is why
Oh, dude,
we.
I definitely robo tripped once with an ex.
Oh,
and that was funny.
Dude.
Funny shit.
I'm honestly, for me personally, I like to just drink and smoke some weed, and that's where I'm drawing the line. Like,
yeah, I've dabbled with other drugs and stuff.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, weed is really just.
I like
shrooms.
It affects me too much, man.
Yeah,
you know, like just the way you feel the next day.
I'm too high strung, honestly, to be doing anything that's gonna make my heart pound.
Seriously,
you know, or like I am the most anxious, most like my back has the weight of the entire universe on it at this moment. Every other moment.
Really?
I'm like, when I get massages at the like massage parlor, they laugh.
Yeah,
like, what are you?
They're trying to like pop all the bubbles out of your back. Like,
you somehow petrified like a tree.
Yeah. So you hold.
They're like, relax.
You hold all your like anxiety like in your upper back. Yeah. Me too.
Oh yeah. No.
Me too. And it's caused me actually a lot of like neck problems because my upper back is so like because I'm just like, I don't know, I just hold all that like
me too.
Up there.
Same.
And like
I'm like a Lego person, dude. I'm like
yeah, totally. So I'm the exact same. Like when I do go to get a massage, I'm like, okay, I just want you to hit the upper like 12 inches of my back the whole entire time.
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. I went to get a massage like a week ago, and the lady started laughing at me and was like, "You need to like chill out." Calm down. It's not good. She whispered it to me in my ear while I was getting a massage.
Yeah, if it was that easy, I would have already done it.
Exactly. Okay? That's why I'm fucking here getting a massage.
Know the world is literally on fire right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's on fire at all times. It's like caffeine will send me over the edge. So the thought of like doing a crazier drug, though I have done them, it'll send me into like, well, you were talking earlier about like being hungover the next day and the anxiety. Like, any drug, I'm like, what did I say? What did I do? Like, it's just
that guilt that comes with.
I hate it, dude. It's so.
I hate that kind of shit, and I'm over it. You know, like I'm over beating myself up for doing something dumb or not.
Even not like even when I don't say something stupid, like I know I didn't say anything stupid. I still am if I get like real wasted or something the next day.
Like, who did I wrong?
I'm like,
I wronged someone. I feel wrong.
Dude,
even if I didn't do it, like even if it's like. I know I didn't do anything that would be embarrassing. I still think back and I'm like,
oh, dude, me too.
And it's usually around BT Bam, which is also weird.
Dude, it's always around BT Bam.
The guys you want to be good around.
Dude, every time Naveen is always shit-faced.
Every time I see him, I'm like on their bus, like, because they don't drink, so I'm like, do you guys got any fucking loose beers around here?
Like,
what's up?
Of course we do.
And they're like, yeah, dude, have
1,000 of them.
And then I'm just totally wasted on their bus, just giving it to them, like punishing them, dude. Like, you guys changed it all for me, man. Like, you know, it's so terrible.
Every
time. It's those poor. I don't even know why they ever talk to me anymore. Like, it's
dude. When we took them on the Miasma tour, we were at the height of our partying. You know, like we were the first band they saw do cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. Oh, no. Not poor BT Bam's virginal eyes.
Yeah, we gave BT Bam, we stole some of their innocence. Definitely.
You know what, though?
But they came out of it good boys on the other side.
That's true. So. I like hearing this from you, though, because honestly...
You feel guilty around them?
Well, no. I did... the tour we did with you guys, right? We were playing in... I don't want to say where. But I had done a bunch of shrooms and like had gotten drunk this night on that tour, right? And I went into the back of the venue and I didn't realize I was on camera. Like I was partying with the RDB guys and we were getting a little crazy. And I stole a 40-pack of beer. And I like ran outside and took it to Naveen and I was like, hold this beer, dude. I was so fucked up on shrooms.
What the fuck is going on?
And then someone caught me. And I was like crying outside of the show. And I was like, Naveen, you have to give them $40 to pay them back for this beer. And at the end of the night, a dude from the venue, like one of their kids came up to me in the van and he's like, ma'am, you know, we're just a small venue and, you know, you should think about that before you decide to steal another case of beer from them and shit. So the next day I was like going around apologizing to Kareem, like, I'm so fucking sorry, man. I was on mushrooms. This isn't normally something that I do. It got so weird. So I'm glad to hear from your perspective that you think you get fucked up around people too. Because on that, I was like, oh my God, I've made a total fucking fool of myself around.
I got a story for you, man. One time, we're coming out of a show in like Montreal or somewhere like in French-speaking Canada, and I am trash, like one sip away from blackout, you know, like, and some kid hands me some pills as I'm crossing the street.
And like, sick, I'll take these. this.
He's like, it's ecstasy. It was speed.
Oh.
So I took it, and within 30 seconds of taking the pill, I was like shoving people I didn't know.
Yeah, it's so bad, man.
Like, I was fucking possessed.
Oh my God.
And then my band like violently wrangled me into the van, and I'm like cursing them all out and like saying all this crazy whack shit to them.
Yeah.
And like, it was a fucking episode, dude. Like, don't take the mystery pill, man.
Don't.
Like, and the pill, you know how like those pills have like markings stamped on them or some shit sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a bunny or whatever.
It had a YouTube logo. So the inside joke back then was like, you don't want to end up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, absolutely, man.
I know.
So like, I mean, I still feel bad when I talk about this. I still feel like that's just not me to like treat people like that and to like wrong, especially
right
the people in my clan like that is such a like monstrous disrespect, you know.
Dude,
like,
I know.
It's honestly the worst feeling, man.
Make you lose fucking control in it.
It really can.
So
take
it from us,
dude. However, what I will say is that the night after that, I felt like such an asshole, and I was apologizing to everyone. And Sammy from Goat Whore like pulled me off to the side, and he's like, "Dude, I knew I liked you, but I didn't know I was gonna fucking love you." And I was like, "Okay, all right, I guess it was all worth it." I like bought myself into Sammy's heart, so that's what.
Oh man, if you want to fucking know about the Book of Excess, dude, Goat Whore wrote that shit.
Oh man. Those guys, those are true rock stars, man. He's sober?
Dude, Sammy's been sober for a while. I haven't talked to him yet, but it's been like a year or something.
Dude, that's awesome.
Legit, I think it is definitely important to do that, at least for a good stint of time. You know,
I
think just like, you know, he's older than me. He's from the older generation. Like, you get to a certain age, and if you keep living like this party kid, you're gonna be a fat ass. You're gonna look like shit. Yeah. You're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, there's been times I've seen myself in photos and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that was a bad time right there. Like, I'm not looking so great. You know, like, looking fat, looking fucking strung out from being drunk a million days in a row and greasy and just like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the look I want. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to like lose the hold of the world that we have right now by being an idiot.
Yeah. So
like jeopardize all of the great stuff we've done.
Dude, totally.
Well, it's good that you can come to that. I mean, a lot of people aren't that self-aware, you know. They just
Dude, I wasn't when I was trying to do it before. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was like upper management from the girlfriend wanted it to happen. Yeah. And I bent. You know, but like this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? So, like I'm here, I'm fucking saying it to everybody. This is what you're gonna have to. This is what you're gonna get. You know, this is me. So,
awesome.
Do you think that this whole pandemic situation like propelled you forward in that direction rather than do you think you would have stayed the drunk dude had you been on tour and everything was normal?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess just having enough time away and nothing to do but like think.
Yeah.
Helped me arrive at this, you know. And the times I did get drunk during this, like the pandemic and the like, you know, the tenseness of just everything around us and politics and stuff, like just made it exponentially worse to be in that vulnerable, hungover, self-loathing,
right,
you know, wanting to apologize state. Like I'm just like if I could tally how many days of my life I just lost by being hungover and like, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
Like
we were just talking about that. We were like,
disgusting,
dude. Totally.
I don't think people realize that.
No,
you know.
And being hungover on tour, it affects your entire next show. It's like you'll be drunk at one show and like have one fucking great show, and then the next day, like it's very hard for me to recover from that much drinking in one day. So the next day, I'll just be like giving the worst performance of my entire life. Like
for sure,
waiting for it to
I've
get
been
over.
there, and then, you know, like that led to upping the ante every day with alcohol. Like, even if I did get slaughtered and hungover, I'd have to like undo it by
It's like 3 shots,
piling more and more on.
Dude, totally.
Like, all right, we're gonna do 3 shots. That'll get me to 0.
Yeah.
Be good to
Yeah.
go
See,
here.
by the end of the tour, I'm like, I've like doubled my intake.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like just to like stay on this whole rampage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, like when we did that European tour, and I was just like, dude, I think I was probably like 10 drinks a day would be like.
Yeah, no, I was a literal alcoholic on that tour. Like literally.
Because 10 drinks, that sounds like a lot to like a normal person, but it's like, you know, okay, maybe at like 2 p.m. you have a couple beers, right? There's like some beers backstage, and it's like, all right, we're about to go on, do a couple shots, and then that's before you play.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's the whole rest of the night. So I mean,
oh, dude, if the show goes good, it's a trap sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to not celebrate, like because you're just used to doing that, and like you know, like we get excited when shit goes well.
Totally.
Still,
Of course.
you know what I mean.
You want
Like,
to party,
like.
dude. Like I like treats. Like I'll treat myself to something if I feel like I've achieved something. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna drink like a martini and start doing appetizers, and it's like I'm getting fucked up over and celebrating over this achievement.
It's so fun though.
Yeah.
Right. It's fun. It's a blast. I mean, like I love laughing. I love entertaining my friends. You know, like, all the shit that comes with drinking is a fucking blast.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just not sustainable for another 20 years of this band.
It's true.
It's not, you know.
100%.
Yeah. So, you know, with this whole pandemic thing and everything going on, are you guys like planning stuff already? Or are you kind of trying to wait it out? Or are you writing or like
It's
what's
both? It's like we've had tours that we made it early on in the pandemic. Mm-hmm. They just got totally dashed because it didn't end in, you know, a few weeks.
right?
And then we've had ones that got pushed back. You know, our Euro tour is now 2022, very beginning of it.
Wow.
And we still have, like, we're supposed to do Australia in the spring, but like, if it's not announced by now, it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're like
Yeah.
doing shows there, aren't they?
I think,
yeah,
like,
I mean,
within-
because they took the fucking shit serious
Yeah.
and nipped it in the bud,
Yeah.
like we all should have.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, you know, we want. There's still a looming hope of doing some outdoor festivals at the end of the summer,
Oh, sick.
and then maybe talk of a tour in the U.S. in the fall if, you know, we can stay on this upward trajectory.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Dude, totally.
But honestly, I am a skeptic,
Yeah.
Same.
and I'm preparing for either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
So if I got to do this and be Mr. Online guy for another fucking year, you know,
Well,
I'm going to do it.
do you see you guys proceeding and doing more live streams like Yule and All, or are you like?
I'm not sure because it didn't quite have the reach I was hoping,
Really?
honestly.
Really?
For
That's
how
so
awesome it came
surprised-
out, I
dude.
was a little bit pissed about that.
I gotta honestly. Okay, so I have a friend with muscular dystrophy, and he's bedridden at this point. And for him, this whole thing has been like the polar opposite of what it's been for all of us who are like able-bodied and we can get out and go to shows. You know, he's loving this live streaming
it's
thing.
bringing people that he cares about into his world.
Exactly.
You know what I
So.
mean? Like,
Yeah, I watched Yule 'em All with him, and it's like I've been watching a lot of live streams with him, and to me, it's like you guys just fucking nailed it because it wasn't just a live stream; it was like a whole like a family old school
like a Christmas special, in
dude.
a way.
Yeah, and I loved that about it. That it wasn't just like okay, here's a live show, just like whatever you would have seen. It was a whole special, and you guys really like brought in the Black Dahlia spirit rather than just doing a live show. That was really fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks.
But
I appreciate that a lot.
But
And
I'm surprised it didn't have the reach that, you know, because to me it's like that should have like.
I just think some people haven't made that jump
Yeah.
into doing the plague this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think that's where the disconnect was, honestly.
Really.
But And also, like, the climate, there's so many streams happening at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Basically.
I know.
It was really flooded, you know? And I kind of regret making it a Christmas stream because now it has no value to anybody until next year.
But that's, yeah. However, dude, this is something that I will say to Naveen a lot as far as Christmas things go. It's like, you know, if you make a Christmas thing and it doesn't quite hit that mark, it just falls off and no one really remembers it. But if you make like that Mariah Carey hit, it's going to stick forever, like a Bing Crosby thing. And you guys did kind of corner that market where I didn't see anyone else really reacting to Christmas in that way. It wasn't like a full-blown thing where I think that your fans are going to pull that out every year on Christmas, and it's a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my hope. You know, we're looking for some avenue to put it back online, available for like download for keeps, you know what I mean?
Dude,
and like
you have
physical
to do that.
versions of it.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like hoping to get it on Amazon. I mean, in a dream, we'd get it on Netflix or something.
Oh,
you
that
know?
would rule. That would rule.
Yeah,
you know, always shoot for the stars and like end up at plan
Hey, why not, man?
Z.
That's what it's all about.
That's our credo.
Yeah. So
you know how it is,
dude. Totally. Did Marshall and Michelle shoot that by themselves?
Marshall and Michelle shot it. They had help from Alan's girlfriend, Silvana, who is also a very talented photographer.
I've creeped her Instagram, and oh my God, her stuff is
shit,
so,
right?
Dude, it's the shit. I fucking love it. It's so like, it's got that like almost Twin Peaksy, like gothic, a lot of reds.
Yeah,
and,
it's like weird 70s, like satanic kind of black magic, you know, like satanic panic shit, kind of like she really nailed that aesthetic. But anyway, so the three of them filmed all of it. Marshall did the sound while he's filming it.
Oh fuck.
And so it was a painstaking process, the setup every day. It was just us setting everything up,
right?
Like 10,000 Christmas lights and all this stupid ass shit.
I know.
And you know, dialing in the perfect sound and everything.
Totally.
And so we did 4 locations in 5 days, and
that's a lot.
It was exhausting. It really was. Like, so like all of a sudden I was back on tour, like getting the shitty part of tour.
Yeah, not the good part.
Yeah.
The waiting and the setting up and the like, oh, let's do this already.
Dude, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But you know, I'm really proud of how it came out, and Marshall and Michelle fucking killed it. And they're so talented at everything they touch.
They took our latest promo photos, and it's amazing. Like, they're incredible. Together they just like have this thing.
Oh, it's insane.
It's
like,
so
they
great.
They play music together. They do all kinds of shit together.
Yeah.
They're like painfully cute together.
It's so cute.
And,
I know.
Yeah, it was cool.
They just killed it for us. Like, we came up with the idea. A week later, we were all together doing it.
Holy shit. It was that quick of a thing? Like, we're all right.
I mean, Metal Blade came knocking. They're like, you know, they've been like pressuring us to do the stream. And I just didn't want to like, we just didn't want to like do all the fucking work, man. Like, to do it because we don't live together. You know, it's not as easy. It's like, we're not practicing on the reg. It's not like, oh, just, you know, have them come to practice.
It's like the same amount of work as like going on tour, but just
there was, you know, like flying everyone in, all that bullshit. So we, you know, resisted for a while. I knew it was inevitable. I knew they would corner us into it, and I knew that we had to do it at some point. But there was resistance at first,
of course.
But eventually, I was like, all right, what if we did like a fucking Jerks Christmas, you know, like Eula Mall, you know, the name came around. We had already done Fool 'em All, the 7-inch, so it's just like a play on that, really. And you know, so we thought, like, take the piss out of Christmas. We thought all we have to do is like have enough alcohol at some point to get like the funny stuff, which we got in spades.
Right. You did.
There's shit that we took out where like me and Alan, like the most shameless people in the world, were like, that's even too much for me.
Well, what did it entail?
You might have to make a director's cut,
Alan,
dude.
Alan like really hurt himself and was bleeding out of his face, and like he didn't want the there was a segment of that in the commercial where he's dressed up like Santa Claus and blood is like cascading down his face, and he's like looks at the camera and he's like, yeah, or like something like that. It was like 2 seconds, but like
yeah.
He's like, my shame waves are so deep from all that, man. I can't live with this.
Yeah.
You know? And like I learned that I smashed Baby Jesus when I saw the footage back.
Oh fuck. You were blacked
out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
dude.
70% blacked out.
Oh no.
Sort of.
Hey man, good
like,
for you. I'd be so like I get like super high strung over things I may have said, which sounds crazy because we've done like 50 episodes of this podcast. Yeah. But it's like every time I go back, I'm like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck I said. I could have been too drunk. I'm scared to see what.
Yeah, no, me too.
That feeling sucks. I hate that. Yeah. I'm over that shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So it came together really quickly. Brian was really on the directorial end of it, I guess you'd say. Really? The segments, the kind of like we all kind of spitball different ideas and stuff. Like Max came up with ham sanitizer.
Yeah, dude. Are you guys selling that?
We were for a second. We sold bottles of ham sanitizer.
When I saw really that,
just hand sanitizer,
right?
Rebranded.
But when I saw that, when I saw George doing it, I was like, oh my god, these guys are fucking brilliant. Now they can sell ham sanitizer for the rest of their fucking careers. It's like Kiss, you know? Like
we've definitely done some merch that is on the Kiss level of ridiculousness, and like being the tongue-in-cheek band that we are, you know what I mean? Like. The music is always approached seriously, but like the rest is up for debate.
Yeah,
yeah, like, totally.
That's exactly how I feel. It's like, hey, I'll just go legit with the music or anything else. Whatever, who cares? Like it. Yeah, it's whatever, doesn't matter. Fuck, man.
But yeah, we've had you on here for 220, man. Thank you.
You know, I'm the king of the filibuster. Like, if I get with the right people, like, I love you guys. So it's hard for me to like.
I agree.
I know it's a good catch up, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna sit here until you click the button.
I know. I'm down. Well, I don't know. Let's keep fucking talking then.
Yeah, I know. What can we talk about
honestly,
now?
Dude, I got piss up to my eyes, so I am gonna bail.
All right, man. Great talking to you. Thanks so much, Trevor.
Seriously, thanks for coming on our little rinky-dink podcast.
Dude, please have me back in time.
Yeah, we would love to.
Dude, I love that. Yeah. New album's killer. We've been jamming it. It's fucking super solid.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like I said earlier, man, like, you know, just before we go, it's like you definitely have inspired me to not be like a stuck-up shithead, and it's like go get into current metal. And like there's so much good stuff because of that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm glad to hear that, dude.
Like, seriously,
there's times where I felt over it too, you know, but I came back.
Definitely.
There's just so much joy in it and so much like that can propel your own band, you know?
Yeah, totally. And like, I remember when you came out with that Obituarist thing, I was like, that's like really cool. He's like, just
it's the way to go.
You know?
It's the way to go, I think.
And I want to be like that, you know? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a good example to set, I think. And there, you know, there's bands that, like we were talking about earlier, that like feel like they're giving up their own fans to recommend a band to you, but dude, like
the jealousy thing just shouldn't exist. There are so many fans of this kind of music that there are enough to go around, and they want to like multiple bands. Like, dude, do I want to sit and listen to one band for the rest of my life? No, I want to listen to every band and be a huge fan of a bunch of bands. That's why it's like when someone asks me what my favorite thing is, it's like, dude, I love music way too much to single out one band or one vocalist as being like the
right. Oh, for sure. It's too hard. And you just, like, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Right
Absolutely.
On, well, we're going to let you go.
Keep loving it, guys.
Keep
loving it. But thanks so much, Trevor. It's been a great time hanging out, catching up.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon, dude. Peace.
Hopefully IRL.
Yes.
Hell yeah.